But anyway, let's go ahead and see how much redder our girls' text can get. I really wonder if they're going to do any more with their text at this point, since we've literally reached the logical value of red. But here we go. Back on in. Hold on to your butts. Yesterday was a trip, and I am sure that today is going to continue that trend. Even if I turned on the light in my hideout, nobody would see it because of the piles of abandoned cars in the way. While I'm aware of that, I decided not to turn it on just in case. It's a bit scary to hide in this quiet place, alone in the dark, holding my breath. I'd have to keep myself busy with something, but my brain won't work properly, and I don't even have the energy to think about what to do from now on. However, I don't have the courage to lie down to sleep and regain my strength either. Every time I heard or thought I heard a suspicious sound, I'd gasp and stare into the dark. That's all I did all night. Oishi believes the Sonozaki family was behind the conspiracy, but he can't do much without solid evidence. For that, he has to locate the facility where they're doing research on the parasite, but we have no idea where it is. I think the Irie clinic is still the most likely site, but I have no credible evidence. It's Happy Red Text. Hope you're doing well, nerd. Welcome. Well, I was telling everybody, I don't know how much redder this text can possibly get. Just happy little blood splotches. Really, I don't think they do their research in a place so obvious, even if I could guess it. They might be using one of the bomb shelters that was built during the war as some kind of secret underground research center. Now that I come to think about it, I remember a secret building nobody is allowed into on the premises of the Furude Shrine. I think it's called the Ritual Storehouse. According to Mio-san's research, the Furude Shrine is the center of the local worship of Oyashiro-sama. The priest keeps the tools for ceremonies in the Ritual Storehouse. One of the ceremonies is a bizarre festival, Watanagashi, and so the shrine storage must be something very sacred. Oh boy, let's go in there. It's probably a good place to go into. I hear only good things happen to people that go in there. If I remember right, Watanagashi was also a medical ritual designed to vaccinate and immunize people against the all-too-strong parasites. That means the tools they used for Watanagashi were medical ones. We have medical. Definitely medical. These implements are definitely medical of nature, I'm sure. If my guess is right, the Ritual Storehouse is the most sacred place in the village, as well as the most appropriate building to use for medical purposes. It's suspicious. There might be a secret research center in the Ritual Storehouse. Ah, damn it. The police should be performing a raid on the Ritual Storehouse, not the Irie clinic. Oh no. We've gotten to the point where Rena is cursing. I don't know if I can handle this anymore. Why didn't I think of that when I was talking to Oishi on the phone earlier? I hope Oishi realizes this too. Should I go back to the phone booth and tell him about the Ritual Storehouse? But when I thought about that, I heard a car coming closer. I held my breath. It's not normal for a car to come here this late at night. I thought about many possible scary scenarios that made me nervous. After a while, I saw the headlights of the car near the former dam construction office. The car must have passed by me and gone to the office. But it's a deserted, empty office building. There's nothing there. It's not a place where people would visit this late at night. While I was staring into the dark, the engine of the car stopped and its headlights were turned off. I could see 2 flashlights flickering in the darkness. The lights moved into the office building. They must think I'm hiding there. I held my breath and kept watch on their movements. I can't tell who they are, but I bet they're pawns of the Sonozaki family. They know that I ran away from home. They must be looking for me everywhere in the village. Yeah, the rust just makes things more sterile. Adds a little flavor. It adds a little flavor to your surgical procedure. You know, you want your procedure to have just the right amount of spice. A little bit of rust in the cut. That'll do some good for you. Though I needed to conceal my breath, my face started feeling itchy, and I had the urge to stretch my legs. My own body infuriated me. The humidity made me sweat all over, so the back of my knees and neck had been itchy for a while. Scratching would make an unbelievably loud noise, so I decided not to scratch anymore. It usually doesn't make any noise when I scratch some mosquito bites. I'm probably just being nervous and overreacting. There's quite the distance between me and them, and I'm in the dark, holding my breath. They wouldn't notice it if I sneezed, let alone scratched myself. But I didn't want to make any noise at all, so I tried to forget the itchiness. But after all that, I ended up scratching everywhere like mad. I have to live in hiding like this for a while. I don't know how long I can go on when I'm so nervous just on just the first night. I need to toughen up more so I can remain placid, even in a situation like this. I forced myself to relax, scratched my neck without hesitation, and tried to cope with the sticky sweat all over my body. I started getting hungry. My stomach growled. That's a good sign, though, since it means I'm starting to relax. I can't eat yet, though. It'd make a lot of noise. I decided to wait until they finished looking for me and went away. Go away. Go away. I can eat if you go away. It seemed like the intentions I was sending out bore fruit. They had stopped looking around the building. However, I must have concentrated my thoughts too strongly. They were pointing their flashlights in my direction. Did they notice me? No. No, not only that, they were walking towards me. I made my body as small as possible, hid under the blanket, and listened for their footsteps as carefully as I could. All the while, I heard their footsteps coming closer and closer. Since the footsteps are coming straight towards me, they must already know where I am. I think it's scary. But there's no way they already know where I am. But if they did, they wouldn't have wasted their time looking for me around the office building, and they wouldn't walk as slowly as they did. It's just a coincidence that they're walking in this direction. Since I'm hiding under the blanket, I can't see who they are. I don't know where they're shining their flashlights, so I can't stick my head out from the window to see who they are either. I just have to stay motionless like a rock until I sense they're gone. They stopped when they came near my hideout. I could hear their conversation.
いねえだろ。
ぐるっと回ってみるが、そっちを見てくれ。
I could tell by the sound of their footsteps that they went separate ways, and that each of them was walking around the piles of trash separately. I made this hideout out of an abandoned car. I just redecorated it. So on the outside, it still looks like nothing other than an abandoned car. But once you look inside, you can instantly tell there's more than that. So if they look inside, I'm done for. It's obvious that they're looking for me. Are they a Sonozaki Corps attack unit? If they find me, I'll be killed for sure. I know all too well this place is perfect for murdering people. I killed 2 people here myself. If I can do it, it'll be no problem for them, because they're real professional killers. Even so, there's nothing I can do right now. I just have to pray that they'll leave here soon. At that time, I heard a slight beeping sound.
あっちです。感度良好。はい。ゴグラ？はい。了解です。
どうした？
竜宮レナはゴグラらしい。
Yo, Renison Gogura, everybody! We found her!
目撃情報があったそうだ。
Somebody saw her there. It's fantastic. We got this.
おいおい、お手上げだぜ。どうするんだよ。
とにかく是が非でも捕まえて連れてこいって旦那の命令だ。たとえ行ったのが札幌だろうと博多だろうと追っかけるしかねえだろ。
無理だぜ。見つかるわけねえ。それでも探さなきゃなんねえのか。
旦那は竜宮レナの持つ高野美代のスクラップ帳ってのを欲しがってる。あんだけの剣幕になるんだから相当のもんだろうぜ。
I think this is gonna go real well. Just got a good feeling about this.
で、俺たちはどうするんだよ。
竜宮家前に貼り付けだけ残して他は引き上げだそうだ。戻って麦茶でも飲もうぜ。
I heard their footsteps going further, and then I didn't hear them anymore. After a while, I heard the engine of their car starting. I finally got out from under the blanket and looked outside the window. The car made a U-turn and drove away. The sound of the engine faded away into the darkness. I heaved a sigh of relief. I scratched all of my itchy mosquito bites, wiped the sticky sweat off my face and neck, and finally allowed myself to cough. I'd heard their conversation clearly. They're the pawns of the Sonozaki Corps, without a doubt. It matches what Oishi told me. They said something very important. They clearly said they're after the scrapbooks. Up until now, I'd only assumed that they were chasing after me because I had Mio-san's scrapbooks. I could have forced myself to believe that it was just my assumption, but they said it loud and clear. We want to find Rena Ryugu. So she has Mio Takano's scrapbooks. That's what they said. They also said that they're keeping a watch on my house. I'm not surprised. That's exactly what I would do if I were them. I can't go back to my house anymore. It's out of the question. But, in fact, they said something way more important than any of that. They said Rena Ryugu was seen in Gogura. If I was in a normal situation, I'd probably think that somebody saw a look-alike, and I'd laugh out loud. But this situation is different now. Mio-san was dead, and she was at the fest. Oh, no. Oh, no! I don't like this at all. I'm here, but I was in Gogura. Mio-san wrote about it in her scrapbooks, and I didn't want to believe it. They're coming closer to me, and I don't mean the Sonozaki family. Something beyond common sense is about to happen. Should I fight or should I run? I don't even know what I should do. I feel like I'm rooted to this spot with fear. Am I about to be eaten? No. I don't want to be eaten alive. I want to run away if I can. If I can't run, I want to fight. I'm going to be happy. I know I am. I'm not going to sit pretty and let them get me. But the enemy Mio-san foretold of in the scrapbooks is coming closer to me, and it's starting to eat me up. I'm in the garbage dump alone. If I disappeared right now without anybody knowing it, the person who was in Gogura would replace me and start living my life. What? Nobody would notice the change. My father wouldn't notice it. My friends wouldn't notice it. It would replace me without having anyone notice. Wait, many people close to me might have been replaced already. That's right, the Sonozaki family is plotting bioterrorism, but that's only a part of what they are planning. Mice possessed by them don't get scared of cats. As a result, they don't run away. They'll be eaten by the cats, and they can move into the cats' bodies. Mice are only used by them for that purpose. It's not that they lose their fear of cats in order to help them achieve their purpose. The same thing goes for the Sonozaki family. They think they're doing things on their own will, but they're just helping them without realizing it. That's exactly how they've lived since long ago, being the parasite. We're nothing but a bunch of mice to them. Most mice are stupid. They don't even notice their existence. They help them to achieve their purpose, thinking they're living their lives of their own will. But very rarely a mouse with wits is born. This mouse notices that he's being used, and he also notices their existence, but nobody believes him, so it's not a big deal. He starts thinking that it was a mistake, and he gets swallowed by them. Eventually, he disappears. But even more rarely, a mouse appears from nowhere, notices their existence, and objectively proves it. That mouse was Mio-san. Check it out. She's got a bit of a mousy look to her. I still think she's kind of like more of a dopey mouse. But she's definitely got kind of a mousy look to her, I think. To them, this mouse was a rare and very dangerous existence. That's why they resorted to unbelievably bold and violent methods to try and eliminate that mouse when it appeared. But surprisingly, we knew about those measures. But the stupid mice don't believe it. They don't notice that they are forcing them to not believe it and that they're helping them in the end. You do miss the dopey-eyed look? Yeah. Yeah, Mio Mouse, the mascot of Hinamizawa Land. They killed Mio-san. And they tried to replace her, but they made a mistake. We found the real corpse of Mio-san. That's why they failed to replace her. They'll try to kill me and replace me too, or they'll replace my friends in order to get close to me. They'll look just like the real people, but they're totally different inside. They're an abnormal existence that's beyond our imagination. I know they'll appear. No, they're already here. It appeared the day after Mio-san died, and appeared in Gogura tonight. They'll keep coming. They're openly after me now. They'll keep coming. They'll keep coming. Right then, I heard somebody coming down the slope. Oh no! I concealed my presence again, and I looked at the direction where the footsteps were coming from. I could see one flashlight. It looked like there was only one person now. Who is it? This late at night. Its shadow is very small. I can tell it isn't an adult. I felt a chill running through my body. It shined the flashlight towards my hideout, and its footsteps were coming straight towards me. It's definitely from the other guys earlier. I can tell by the sound of the footsteps that it knows I'm hiding here for sure. No, it must be a coincidence. I should just conceal myself again. I can make it through this again. I made it through last time. I need to hide. I pulled the blanket over myself, made myself as small as possible, and kept telling myself that I was just a stone. But the footsteps kept coming closer and closer. And it knocked on the door of my hideout. What's knocking on the door of the hideout, everybody? What's some before we jump to the next text box? What's hiding? What's coming? What's knocking? Avon calling. Would you like to buy some makeup? It's Avon. All right, let's see if it's Avon. I opened my eyes wide. I broke out in a nervous sweat. It's chime time! Girl Scouts have brought us chimes and cookies. Maggot cookies! I opened my eyes wide. I broke out into a nervous sweat, not wanting to believe the sound I heard was a knock. My mind went completely blank. But it knocked on the door again. I could feel a slight shine. I could feel a slight shining on the blanket. It might be shining the flashlight on me, but I still held back my fear. As long as I don't move, it can't put a finger on me. I kept telling myself that as if I was casting a spell. I tried not to shake in fear. Oh, we got a girl. Hello, everybody. It could be Girl Scouts. We were right. It's a girl. She's got cookies. It laughed. It has laughed at me because I thought I was still hiding perfectly, but I still tried because if I got out of the blanket. Uh-oh. Oh, well, you just blew your cover. Hi there, CG. Guys, I think Rin is a little tense right now. I threw off the blanket and saw the owner of the voice. Oh! Oh, hi. Hi there. Hi, you. How you doing? She's, fancy meeting her here. Maybe she's got cookies for us. Now, why is she here? Why did she come here to see me? I don't understand why she came all the way here alone this late at night. I realized all of a sudden, she looked just like Rika-chan on the outside, but she's not her. It is just copying her appearance. It came to Mio-san, to me, and to Rika-chan. I decided to talk aggressively on purpose in order to work up the courage before my fear crushed me down.
Rika-chan, kana?
Yay! She's back! See, look. She got a smile. It's all good. She got cookies.
他の誰に見えるのですか?
It answers just like the Rika-chan I know. But I know it's not Rika-chan. Rika-chan wouldn't come to a place like this so late at night.
わかるよ.
God damn it! There goes the frames. Hold on. Okay. Internet's been a little spotty the last couple days, so we gotta be careful. Like, I think there's just some bad weather kind of farting with things, so we're gonna probably drop frames here and there.
リカちゃんじゃないんでしょ. おあいにくだけど、私の目はごまかせないよ。外見がリカちゃんであっても、あんたはリカちゃんじゃない。私の友達のフルでリカじゃない。何者？
Rika looked stunned for a while. She looked as if she didn't understand what I was talking about. But she pretended like that for too long. If she really didn't know what I was talking about, she wouldn't be able to stand there in silence for this long. But she kept quiet, and she finally showed her true character. It's okay to laugh, I guess. It laughed. It laughed at me because I figured out something that was almost impossible to figure out. That it was not Rika.
あんた誰？
It didn't answer my question. It kept laughing for a while, and then it looked straight into my eyes the way Rika-chan never did before, and it said this.
私もこの世に生きて長いけど、私をリカじゃないと見破ったやつは初めてよ。あなたは勘がいい人だと初対面から思ってたけど、大したものね。
She clearly spoke to me the things that I was most afraid of. I was completely shocked. It's like she told me everything that could possibly scare me. I didn't want to hear any of this. It's something I can't possibly twist in a way I can comprehend.
でもあえてリカだと名乗っておくわ。
Looking a little smug there, Rika-chan, not gonna lie. It's okay though.
私もリカを自分の呼び名だと思ってかなり。
へえ。長いってどれくらいに？
大したことはないわ。ほんの100年程度よ。
はあ？何を言ってんのあんた。
I'm contradicting myself. I know the person who's standing in front of me isn't Rika, but at the same time, I deny its existence. As long as humans hold this kind of emotion, they can never accept unknown existences. In other words, we can never accept them.
怯えなくていいわ。あなたは社内。私は社外。互いに相手に物騒なことをするのは簡単じゃない。お互いに都合のいい距離だと思うけど、私が何百年生きていようとも、フルでリカは所詮小さな子供だもの。あなたに腕力で勝てると思ってないわ。むしろ逆上したあなたに飛びかかられないか不安なのはこっちの方なんだから。
I realized that this creepy thing that looks just like Rika was only here to talk to me. I felt my tension fade away after a little bit. But still, I don't know what she wants to talk to me about at a place like this, so late at night. I'm like a fish on a cutting board. There's nothing I can do other than wait to see what's going to happen. I waited for it to make a move for a while, and then it opened its mouth again.
あなたは何かに怯えている。それは正解。
It uses sarcasm. Rika-chan's cute face looked uglier than ever when it smiled. I held back my fear and tried to reply firmly.
ええ、おかげさまで。
そう。何に怯えているの？
あんたらが一番よくわかっているくせに。
It told me earlier that we were safe from each other because one was in the car and one was standing outside, but it's obvious that I'm the one who is being driven into a corner. While I'm talking to it, I could be being surrounded by its minions. I got scared and tried to listen to the sounds of my surroundings carefully.
怖がらないで。私はあなたを助けに来たんだ。
She does have cookies! She's here. She brought cookies. What makes you feel more safe, more at home, some nice, warm cookies.
助けに。へえ、どうやってかな。
あなたはね、 ちょっと病気になってしまっただけなの。ちょっとしたお薬で楽になるのよ。私はその薬を持ってきたと言ったら関心がある？
Cookies or medicine? Because, I mean, I like one of these more than the other. But if we could make the two of them work, maybe meet in the middle, I might be able to follow you along this path.
薬？
It put its hand in its pocket and took out a small case. It opened the case and showed me what was inside. What was in there made me gasp in surprise.
注射器！
Uh-oh. It's not normal for a person to carry around a syringe. I have no idea what's going on. But what Rika-chan is holding in her hand is a syringe. There's no way I can twist that fact around.
そう。あなたを楽にしてくれる注射よ。
Is Rika-chan a drug addict? We still have not solved this mystery.
楽になれるって？私には分かってる。富武さんを殺した薬物の正体は原子の力を持った寄生虫。かつての奇病を再現させる恐ろしい注射。
富武の注射はね。でもこれは違うわよ。本当よ。
It giggled. It isn't the giggling that scares me. I'm scared that it admitted the cause of Tomitake-san's death so easily. And it also admitted the direct cause of the maggot disease that Tomitake-san died from.
私にもあの死に方をさせるつもりなんでしょ。そしてゴグラに現れたレナが私に入れ替わって生ける伯爵。そういう魂胆なんでしょ。
Problem solved, everybody.
誰がそんな注射をするもんか。
まあ嫌がるとは思った。明らかに怪しいしね。
分かってるじゃないの。ならどうするの？富武さんみたいに集団で襲って無理やり注射でもするの？
Tomitake-san's autopsy report said that he had bruises on his body that proved he was fighting against several people right before he died. That means they must have ganged up on him to give him the shot against his own will.
無理に襲って注射したいけど、あまりうまくいった試しはないわね。だから無理やりってのはもう諦めてるわ。だからあなたの自由意志に任せることにする。
ふざけないで！そんな薄気味悪い注射誰が使うものか。
私もそのあたりは悩んだわ。どうなだめすかせばあなたに注射できるかをね。
It never really works.
強引にも無理だし理解も得られないし。
You having another thinky dinky, Tom? Tom, are you doing a thinky dinky?
なら結局私はあなたの判断に任せるほかないってこと。
そんなのは聞くまでもない。誰がそんな見えすいた罠にかかるか。
まあ想定通りの反応よ。どうせ期待してなかったし。
It heaved a sigh, made a gesture as if it's mocking me, and smiled bitterly. It looked as if it was saying that I am a lower animal and I can't understand it's being given a chance for salvation. I kind of want to say I'll take the shot on a dare, but I know that's exactly what it is
とっ
intended
と
to
と
do.
帰ってお前の仲間に注射には失敗したと伝えるがいい。私は負けない。最後まで徹底的に抗ってやる。そして 1% にも満たないかもしれない勝機をつかんで必ずや貴様らを打ち滅ぼしてやるから。
そうならばせいぜい頑張りなさいな。どうせもうすぐ滅ぶ世界だしね。
滅ぶ？
あなたには関係のないことよ。井戸の中のカエルが井戸の外なんかに興味を持っても仕方ないでしょ。
At this stage of the game, it said something very dubious. I tried hard to understand what this horrifying creature was trying to say.
私をこれからどうするつもりなの？
私はどうもしないわ。好きにすればいい。
It's almost too easy. As far as I know, do whatever you want means ignorance or release when your enemy says it to you. At the very least, it isn't a bad thing. Or does it have another meaning? In that way, I overinterpreted the meaning of this sentence, but then it said it again.
あなたの好きなように過ごせばいい。このリュウグウレナにはもう興味ない。次のリュウグウレナとうまくやれるようにするわ。せめて次のリュウグウレナは変に勘が良くないことを祈るだけよ。
I was scared of it, like I'd been scared of a judge handing down a death sentence.
私も昔は小さなほころびが生じるたびに直そうと奔走したものだけど、途中からね、疲れてきちゃったの。このひなみ沢にもう興味ない。次のひなみ沢を探しに行くことにするわ。でもあなたにはこのひなみ沢しかない。だからせいぜい頑張って生きなさいな。
It was telling me scary things, one after the other. This was obviously a warning of Hinamizawa's destruction. It means the climax is coming soon. They have already prepared another Rena. When I lose to this fate, they are going to replace me with that Rena as if nothing happened. They're very well organized. What humans are most afraid of is for their lives to lose all value. Your life becomes worthless when you're told that you have a replacement. It's like an indirect death sentence. It closed the syringe case and put it back into its pocket. It turned around and started climbing up the slope. At the top, it looked back and spoke with that as much as an evil smile.
じゃあね、さよなら。このリュウグウレナ。次のリュウグウレナでは仲良くしてね。ほとんどの場合は仲良くできてるんだから。
次のリュウグウレナなど許すものか。私は私だ。たった一人だ。お前らの思い通りにはならない。絶対に絶対に。
I wondered if my scream was reaching it. It looked at me coldly. It looked at me as if I was just an image of the past on the
たま
TV
には
screen.
こういう会話も面白いか。
That laughter gradually disappeared into the darkness. It disappeared into the darkness as well. I was the only one left there. I'm forsaken, and they don't care if I disappear. They told me that I should struggle as much as I want because it doesn't matter anyway. They already have a replacement. They don't need me in their Hinamizawa anymore because my intuition is too sharp. When I realized that, I noticed that the garbage dump is a perfect grave for me. Then I realized that this place wouldn't work as a hideout anymore. I'd better start packing and move somewhere else. It told me to struggle as much as I want. I'm going to do just that. Damn it. Damn it! I have to get ready to move out from here. I'm going to put everything back into my backpack. I have to leave here as soon as possible. The light of the flashlight wasn't enough to see by, so I turned the table lamp on. The light made things show up clearly. When I reached my backpack, I realized something and gasped in surprise. The palm of my hand was covered with an eerie liquid. I thought I'd wiped off my sticky sweat earlier, but it wasn't my sweat. There was this... Where did all this blood come from? I realized it right away. I was scratching the mosquito bites on my neck earlier, and I scratched them until it bled. When I realized that, I remembered the sensation, the mixture of pain and itchiness. I felt something moving near the wound on my neck, so I scratched it again to get rid of whatever it was. My hand got sticky and wet with blood again. I can't see the things that are because I don't have a mirror, but I know. They're already spreading throughout my entire body, causing the itchiness on my arms and the back of my knees. If I'd never experienced this before, I'd think I got bitten by a bad bug or something. But unfortunately, I already know what's causing this itchiness.
なんでどうして
Said it with hatred. Why now? Why here? It's the maggot disease, without a doubt. If I cut the veins in my arms, the dusky red, gross things would flow out. But it's impossible. I didn't get any suspicious shots. It doesn't have to be a shot. They might have put the drug in my food, and I might have eaten it without noticing. I didn't think they'd put it in the food at my house, but I used to share lunch with my friends at school. They might have put it in the lunches. That Rika who visited me just earlier was shining a flashlight on me. So she knew that I was scratching my neck so hard it bled. Nevertheless, she acted like there was nothing wrong, and she told me that I wouldn't last long. Now I know why she was laughing at me in a sarcastic way. She knew that I wouldn't have much time left. It itches very badly, but I can't scratch. The more I scratch, the itchier it gets, and I'm not going to do the same thing as Tomitake-san did. Damn it, damn it, damn it. The itchiness might not be temporary. It might actually get worse. I don't know if it's going to stop sooner, if it's going to last until I die from it. I don't know anything anymore. I just have to endure this itchiness. I wiped the blood from my neck on a towel, clenched my teeth, and tried to erase the desire to scratch my neck. The wound was throbbing. I wanted to scratch it so badly, but I couldn't do that. I fought back the desire, biting the end of the towel. I scratched other parts of my body really hard in order to forget about the itchiness on my neck, but it didn't really work. I just prayed for the itchiness to go away. I closed my eyes and fought back the desire. That seemed to be the best way. I let my mind go blank, breathing hard for a while. I felt like the itchiness got a little bit better. I took a deep breath and I immediately started panicking. Staying here is more dangerous than the itchiness. I have to leave here as soon as possible. I felt it while packing my stuff. I felt the end coming closer, the end that Rika told me about earlier. I assumed I could live until the end, but I might have been wrong. I might follow the same path Tomitake-san took, way before the end comes. I was sweating like crazy and it felt so nasty. I know it's not sweat, but I'm going to think that it's sweat for now. I wiped my neck with the towel and hurried to leave. Guys, things are going real well right now. Don't know if you've realized, but things are probably okay. The area has no streetlights, so I was scared to run fast when I could barely see. The moon lit up the sky, but not my steps. The only light I had to see was by my flashlight. The light was very weak. All I could see was the flat gravel road before me. Anything the flashlights couldn't reach was in total darkness. The expression often used in the novels, pitch black, wouldn't have been inappropriate. I might trip over an empty can or a rock any time. Not wanting to fall, I used the flashlight with its maximum extent to watch my step, but I was still a bit nervous. I started running slower and slower until I was just walking briskly. That made you suspect something very specific. Interesting. Tom's got thoughts. Did I just stop running because I'm afraid of tripping in the dark? But I usually run around without watching my step during the day. I run around with Rena and Mion all the time. Even if I can see what's underfoot, I don't pay any attention. I don't think I might trip, I just keep running around without a care. Rena might be feeling the same way I am right now. For Rena, the light with which she illuminates the darkness of suspicion is too weak, and the darkness of the delusion she deeply believes in is getting darker and darker. That's why she's scared to even walk on the same roads she always used to take. She fell for the contents of those ridiculous scrapbooks. People might laugh at her for that, but those scrapbooks aren't normal. that manipulate their readers' hearts and, with evil intent, take advantage of their vulnerabilities. That evil intent captured my heart for one night. That's why I know how evil they are. They're just urban legends like the prophecies of Nostradamus or the Purple Mirror. They're a bunch of feasible lies that when you hear about them, at first, you think they're too stupid to believe. But once you fall for them, it's hard to get them out of your mind for some reason. It'll be the year 1999 in less than 20 years. Man, that makes you really feel it, huh? Remember 1999? Man, remember 1999? Oh boy. Everybody knows about the prophecy that the world will come to an end in July of 1999, and even some TV shows about it too, which irresponsibly fan people's fears. So some people take it seriously. Those people think that the prophecy means the outbreak of nuclear war, so some of them are making shelters in their backyards. Some of them are thinking about freezing themselves by 1999 so that they won't be exposed to radiation, only waking up after it's gone. Those people are completely serious about it. But if you think about it rationally, it's impossible that there will be an outbreak of nuclear war in 1999. It's true that the Cold War makes us think that the final war will break out at any time, but both powers are actually pointing their nuclear missiles at each other, and they know there's nothing to gain for either of them to start a nuclear war. The Soviets might still do it. The Soviets will destroy the world if it meant eradicating liberalism. But the delusion that the Soviets might do it could be neatly swapped for the way Takano-san uses the Sonozaki family in her scrapbooks. When people create a large-scale delusion, like the prophecies above, they always use an incomprehensible unknown enemy, such as the Soviet Union, Nazi Germany, or aliens. And they say something like, "You never know, they might do things like that," to try and increase the credibility of their delusions without any evidence whatsoever. What did Takano-san know about the Sonozaki family? Nothing. Yeah, like, being 1999, you know what, I'll go back to 1999 for a while. I could use a 1999 vacation. All she did was use the history of Onikafuchi to say that the Sonozaki family is still working behind the scenes, plotting a horrifying conspiracy. It's not like one of those large-scale prophecies. It's nothing but just a stupid story like the one in Nazi Germany, which says that Hitler is still alive and lives in an underground complex somewhere in the South Pole, continuing his plot to conquer the world. Rena usually doesn't believe stupid stories like that, but it's just bad timing, I suppose. It was right after she killed Rina Mamiya and Tepe Hojo and was caught by us. She was in a state of panic when she heard the story. We were waiting for her to recover from the shock, but before she did and regained her strength of heart, a poison got into her and spread all throughout her body. When you're sick, you have a weakened immune system. It's easy to get another disease. It's just like that. That's it. Rena's just sick right now. When you're sick in bed with a high fever, you sometimes feel like you might die from it, but most of the time you're just overreacting. You get better soon after you take medicine, eat healthy food, and sleep a lot. That's how she is right now. She caught a mental cold, that's all. She's got a little bit of the mental sniffles, that's all. She got some brain sniffles. That's it. Feels like a Keiichi manga. She caught a mental cold, that's all. She needs to get better soon or she might get caught by the police. I passed several patrol cars on my way. I hid every time I saw one since I didn't want to be questioned. I was probably passed by them twice. Yep. Thanks for the sub, Raven. Much appreciated. Hope you are doing well. You missed the first half of the chapter, obviously, but Rena's on the loose. Rika said some things. You're probably going to have to watch the first half of this episode again. It's very important. But yeah, Rika visited the hideout. It was probably not who Rena needed to see at that point. And they had a conversation, and it's a very interesting one. When I came close to Rena's house, I saw a car parked near the gate. It was obviously watching her house, trying to capture her when she'd arrive home. Mion ordered the Sonozaki family to find Rena to protect her from the police, but honestly, I'm not sure if they can. After all, Rena believes the Sonozaki family is after her, but if they don't find her, the police will eventually. If that happens, all of us who helped her bury the corpses will be caught by the police in the end. I don't know how or why the police came to suspect her. I think they only have some circumstantial evidence. I don't think they know she did it for sure. Yeah, Keiichi knows his friends. But since they're looking everywhere for her now, they must have some kind of reliable evidence. Rena, come on. You don't have time to play around with Takano-san's scrapbooks right now. The police are after you. It was so dark that I couldn't be sure if she was down here, but I made up my mind and headed up the slope, carefully shining my flashlight to light my way. I wanted to loudly call out Rena's name, but there might be some policemen nearby looking for her. I walked around the trash pile, and then I saw a light. It was Rena. I ran towards her hideout, kicking aside trash in my way. Rena was standing right in front of her hideout, holding a hatchet. Hey! Hi! You are looking good as ever, girl. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Big ol' thumbs up from us! Rena was standing right in front of her hideout, holding a hatchet. What up, girl? I couldn't blame her. She must have noticed all the noise I had made coming down the slope.
レナ、俺だ。
今度は圭一くん今夜はいろんな人が来る夜だね。
俺以外にも誰かいるのか？
I shone my flashlight around, but I didn't see anybody else.
この場所はもう安全じゃないんで、今から場所を変えるところなの。
Yeah, nice blue eyes. Just so calming, you know?
圭一くんにも知られたくないから、ついてこないで。
レナ、お前どうしたんだよ。その怪我、血だらけじゃないか。
もう落ち着いたから大丈夫だよ。もっとも、いつぶり返すかわからないけどね。
Also, she started scratching her neck because it was itchy, and now she's kind of bloody, and oops. Rena's neck was all red. It looked like she had some kind of skin disease on her neck. She probably couldn't bear the itchiness and scratched at it really
タオルで拭
hard.
いただけじゃダメだろ。とりあえず家へ来いよ。ちゃんと消毒した方がいいぞ。
傷口は大したことないよ。それに、これは傷によるものじゃない。もう手遅れだし。
手遅れ？どういうことだよ。
富武さんを死に導いた何かを、私もいつの間にか服毒させられてるみたいなの。注射なんて物騒な方法じゃない。多分それは弁当のおかずに混ぜられてたの。覚えてる？先日みーちゃんが卵焼きを一人一個ずつ分けてくれたよね。あの時にやられたんだと思う。遅効性なところがうまいよね。くそ。
Rena kicked the dirt with hatred. She was almost literally kicking Mion's goodwill to the
お
curb.
いレナ、お前本気でミオンがそんなことすると思ってるのか？
Rena looked stunned, and she stared straight at me. I noticed a slight accusation in her eyes. I can tell by looking at her eyes that what she wants to say. What are you talking about? I already told you that the Sonozaki family is the mastermind behind the
第
conspiracy.
一よ、あの日の卵焼き、ミオンは一人に一つずつなんか分けてないだろ。
Mion cut her omelet into 5 pieces, and she told us to take one if we wanted. Rena took the end piece of the omelet before anybody else took one. She said it looked cute and ate it right there.
違うよ。みーちゃんは毒が入ってた卵焼きを私にわざと食べさせようとしたんだよ。
レナ、都合よく記憶を書き換えるなよ。タッパーの蓋の上にこうちょんちょんと5つ並べたんじゃないか。
並べてないよ。一人に一つずつ配った。そ
んなこと今までにあったか？俺たちは 互いの弁当箱を好きにつっつくバイキング形式だぜ。これは誰の分なんて、お上品に分けっこしたことなんて一度もねえじゃねえか。
Yeah, like, come to think of it, this is exactly how their lunches have always kind of gone down. Every time we've seen it, it's just kind of like, yo, just eat whatever you want. It's fine. She looked at me with that accusation in her eyes. To Rena, everything that comes out of my mouth must sound like a lie. To her, it's a fact that she was poisoned. She knows that there was a drug in the omelet. That's why she's contradicting me, because I'm saying something different. I didn't come here to make her mad. I realized that disagreeing would only escalate her anger, so I decided not to.
それよりさ、ここはもう安全な場所じゃないって。どこへ行くつもりだよ。
さあね。適当に探すよ。
寝るところなんてそうそう見つからねえだろ。俺の家に来いよ。
ありがたいけど、辞退するね。園崎家の手先が村中を探し回ってる。圭一くんが裏切って私を売るとは思いたくないけど、かばいきれるとも思えない。
園崎家の手先が探し回ってるってのは逆だぞ。警察がレナを探し回ってるんだ。
なんで？大石さんは味方だし、私のことは放っておくように言ってある。私を探すなんてありえないよ。
多分リナと鉄平を殺したことがどこかで漏れたんじゃないかと思う。
Oh man, this is getting all kinds of twisted up. Oh man, we're helping!
ああ、そういうことか。
I was relieved that we were finally on the same page, but I realized I was wrong right away when she laughed in self-derision.
どうして警察があの殺しのことを感づいたかわかる？
いや、わかるわけないだろ
う。That is an invalid link. Just letting you know. Yep, the link failed. Nobody saw her killing them. Nobody saw us burying the corpses. We buried them deep in the mountains, and we camouflaged the spot perfectly. Plus, Mion moved them to a secret place afterwards. Tell her this! Tell her this! Tell her this! Tell her this! So it's impossible that the corpses would be found.
今日の夕方ね。
Tell her this. Tell her this. Tell her that, Keiichi, you have information! Distress. Keiichi, you have information that could be very beneficial to this situation.
私、あの二人の死体を埋めた場所に戻ったの。そしたら、
That didn't sound good. Of course. Rena has no idea that Mion took care of the corpses. That's why I'm going to tell her right now to... Oh man, she'd think the corpses were still buried there.
なかったの。死体が。誰かが掘り返して死体を持ち去った。
いや、レナ、それ、
あんな場所、誰かが偶然掘り返すわけもない。それに、あの場所は私が決めた。だからあの場所に埋まっていることは、あの場に居合わせた人間しか知らない。
そうだ。だからそれは。
誰がやったかは分かってる。みーちゃんだよ。私が警察と結託することがないよう、保険が欲しかったに違いない。
Okay, not gonna make much difference anyway. Oh well.
園崎家に探させるだけじゃなく、警察にも探させるとはね。連中もなりふり構ってられないってことか。
ミオンがそんなことするわけねえだろ。
したんだよ。みーちゃんが私を売った。
いや、しねえな。ミオンも俺たちもみんな仲間だぞ。たとえ世界が全部敵になったとしたって仲間は最後まで味方なんだ。だからミオンがレナを売ることなんて、海水が全部蒸発するような天変地異があったって絶対にありえない。
みーちゃんの肩をどうして持つの？
逆だろ。なんでミオンをそこまで疑うんだよ。
そんなのは決まってるでしょ。ミオさんの暴いた致命的な事実は信者たちの偉大な計画の実現。
黙れ黙れ。あ、ちょっと言葉がきつかったな。いいか、あの死体がなくなっていたのは確かにミオンが掘り返したからだ。
やっぱりそうじゃない。
終わりまで聞けよ。いいか、ミオンが死体を掘り返したのはあの埋めた場所が安全じゃないことが分かったからなんだ。営林署がこの夏あの辺り一帯を伐採するって計画を立ててたことが後に分かったんだよ。だからミオンはレナを守るために死体を掘り返してくれたんだよ。
Rena laughed at me like I was stupid or something. I could tell she didn't understand anything I was saying.
そんなのみーちゃんの口から出まかせに決まってるでしょ。ケイイチ君の前ではいいこぶりたいあの子の汚いやり方だって。
Oh no! Rena, no! Stop that! Stop that! Leon is not a dirty bitch! Jesus!
あのな、じゃあどうすりゃよかったんだよ。今年の夏に営林署が見つけちまうかもしれないと知ってて放置しとくのかよ。そんなことできるわけねえだろ。
その営林署の伐採計画というのがそもそもみーちゃんの作り話だってどうしてわからないのかな。
わからねえのはレナの方だろ。
After I yelled at her, she gave me an icy look. She stared into my eyes, as if trying to find out what I came here for.
俺はレナの目を覚ましに来たんだ。お前は高野さんのスクラップ帳のせいでとんでもないおかしな夢に取りつかれてる。最初のうちは面白い話だと思ってたが、そろそろシャレにならないと思い始めた。お前は今ちょっとした病気なんだよ。
ああ、理科もどきにも病気だって言われたっけね。確かに内脇病はもう始まってるし。
Oh boy.
ああ、もう違うんだ違うんだ。とにかく俺の話を聞け。しばらくの間横になってじっくりと休まねえか。
Let's get you a nap.
本当はミオンの家にかくまってもらった方が安全なんだ。
Keiichi, no! Stop! No! Don't! No! That's not the direction you go right now!
警察からもかくまえるしな。でもそれでもミオンが信用できないってんなら俺の家でもいい。とにかくこんな休めない場所で縮こまってだって心にいいわけがないんだ。
Then you could really actually have Nipa.
まずは俺の家に行こう。そして冷たい飲み物でも飲みながらちょいと熱を冷ましてみないか。そうすりゃレナもすぐに気づくさ。
何を言ってるのケイイチ君。私がおかしくなってるって言いたいの？
No, nobody used the C word. Nobody said that at all. Let's not put that on the table. Keiichi, don't even think the word right now. I'm gonna need you to not do that. No.
おかしいのはお前たちの方なんだ。お前たちは寄生虫に乗っ取られて知らず知らずのうちに奴らに操られているだけ。ケイイチ君も傍観者のつもりでいるけど実は被害者の一人なんだよ。それに気づけないのが彼らの狡猾なところ。それを私は責めない。私がきっとケイイチ君たちを救ってあげるから、今は私を信じていて。
おかしいのはお前たちの方って。じゃあレナは村が丸ごとおかしくて自分だけが正しいっていうのかよ。
ひなみ沢だけじゃないかもしれないね。もはや奴らの魔種は獅子骨市全域 あるいは県内全域にまで及んでいるかもしれない。でも私だけは正しいの。ミオさんのスクラップのおかげでそれに気づけた。ケイイチ君だって気づけたんじゃなかったっけ？
待てよレナ、自分以外世界中が全ておかしいって、それってつまりさ、認めてるってことじゃねえかよ。おかしいのは自分だけなんだよ。世界は最初から何も変わってねえし、おかしくもなんともない。ましてやレナの敵でもなんでもない。自分だけが正しくて世界が全部敵なんてことはありえないんだよ。それはつまり自分だけが敵ってことなんだよ。
かわいそうなケイイチ君。でも仕方がないよ。ミオさんの真実は誰もが受け入れられるものではない。ミオさん自身、この内容が本当に真実かまだ測りかねていた節があったしね。だからケイイチ君が受け入れられないことを私は理解できる。だからそんなケイイチ君を救うために私は頑張るよ。頑張って戦って必ずケイイチ君たちを支配している奴らをやっつけてやるから。
Oh my, oh my. Oh boy. Rena, that's stupid. That's just idiotic. You feel sorry for me? You're stupid! Why don't you understand? Why do you still believe a crazy, stupid story like this? You're just interpreting everything to suit your
ミオ
convenience.
さんもリカちゃんも、そして今や私も、もうスペアが用意されてるの。そして私が消されるのと同時に入れ替わることになっている。
はあ？スペア？お前本気で何を言ってるんだ？
もういいや。ケイイチ君には真実を教えてあげよう。
Oh, she's gonna tell us the truth, everybody. Get ready.
私がケイイチ君に話してない
Everybody get
本当
ready.
の真実。
We're getting the big stuff. Big lore time.
実はね、寄生虫の正体は宇宙人なの。
Oh no. Oh no. Everybody. Everybody, it's happening. It's happening. It was said offhand earlier as a one-off. I didn't think it was gonna happen. But fucking here we are. God damn it. Oh God. That sucks. No.
宇宙人？
うん。お社様の正体も
Good evening,
もちろん
Star, you guys.
宇宙
Hope
人。
you're doing well. Oh, Yashiro-sama is an alien.
天から降臨する際の描写は世界各地に散らばる宇宙人説と合致するの。
Oh no.
偉大な文明が起こるとき、偉人は必ず
Doing
宇
all
宙
right?
から
Glad
現
to
れ
hear
る。
it. Glad to hear it.
彼らは宇宙から優れた英知を持って地球を訪れ、いつまでも未熟な地球人類の進化を促そうと。
Hey, wait just a minute. You must be kidding, right, Brenna? The parasite theory was interesting, but aliens? Come on, that's just nonsense. But Brenna believes this theory so seriously, and she feels sorry for me because I can't accept it.
奴らは人体規制を通じてコミュニティを支配してきた。だが時折勘のいい人間が生まれ、その支配の実態を暴こうとした。彼らはそれを取り除き、コミュニティを維持するために様々な拉致を行ったの。そして時には金属片を埋め込みそのコントロールを得たり、あるいは外見だけを共有した別の存在と入れ替えることによって支配を続け、
Yes! He's real good at de-escalation. You know what?
そいつらは
Keiichi's still better at
ミオさんの
de-escalation than the
コピーを
police.
私のコピーを生んだ。
Also, fuck the police.
リカちゃんのコピーもさっき来たんだよ。そいつと話をしてみた。そいつは宇宙から来た存在であることを認めたよ。
I don't think... Now, Rena, I don't think she said that. I think you're stretching words now.
そして破滅の日が近いことを告白し、私にあがけるものならあがけと嘲笑った。私は戦うよ。人類を奴らの家畜になどしてたまるか。私は絶対に
You're so stupid. I stepped towards Rena and slapped her in the face. Oh, good! 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 This'll help! Oh, good. 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 This is the direction you needed to take at this moment. I was hoping it would return her to sanity.
目を覚ませ。
I will de-escalate your face!
レナ、もう忘れたか。まさにこの場所だ。それもほんの数日前だ。俺たち仲間たちはこの場所で全員で手を取り合ったよな。そして仲間は家族同然だって認め合ったよな。
Rena played with her wrist. She didn't interrupt, so I continued.
お前の言う宇宙人が地球を侵略してるって話をお前が本気で言ってるなら、たとえ世界中が信じなくても俺は信じてやる。俺はお前の仲間で一番最初の味方だからだ。でもならお前も聞いてくれ。仲間で味方の俺の言葉を聞いてくれ。あの高野さんのスクラップ帳はでっち上げのインチキなんだよ。本当さ、高野さんはオカルトマニアなんだ。ひなみ沢の古い歴史をいろいろに解釈して遊んで、陳説を書き上げては人に読ませて回っているだけなんだ。だから寄生虫がどうのこうのという説以外にも UFO がどうこうとか地底人がどうこうなんていうとんでもないのまでたくさんあるんだ。だからレナが読んだスクラップ帳は高野さん自慢の最新作でしかないんだよ。ほら、あの人って人をからかうみたいなところがあるだろう。レナが真面目に話を聞いてくれるもんだから面白がってとんでもない話を吹き込んだだけなんだよ。
単なる創作ならミオさんはどうして殺されたの？しかも検視結果では死後24時間のはずなのに、どうして祭りの夜に歩いていたの？富武さんの死因は？園崎家は？ひなみ沢の伝説は？お社様は？リカちゃんは？全部創作？世界中が私たちを騙すために嘘をついているって、そういうの？
何でもかんでも無理につなげて解釈するな。古代妄想の典型的な症例じゃねえかよ。とにかく難しく考えるな。レナはちょっと疲れてるだけなんだ。だから少し休もう。俺はレナにくつろげる部屋と布団、食事を提供するだけだ。食事が信用できないなら自前で好きにしてくれたっていい。とにかく俺の言うことを今だけでいいから信じてほしいんだ。
私の言っている話の方が筋も通っているし、証拠も根拠もたくさんある。なのに圭一君は自分を信じてくれの一点張り。どっちが正しいかなんて明白でしょ？
ああ、明白だな。俺だ。俺が正しい。
よくそんなことを言い切れるね。
ああ、 そんなのは簡単さ。俺がレナの仲間だからだ。仲間は絶対に裏切らない。仲間を絶対に助ける。
He's trying real hard. You gotta admire this.
だから世界中が俺を正しくないと言っても、今だけは俺を信じろ。俺がお前の仲間だからなんだ。
I heard a thud. Rena dropped the hatchet. She staggered, holding her head in her hands. She was muttering something, and it looked like she was asking herself questions. He wants me to trust him, but he has no evidence to prove he's right. He's being absurd, or maybe he's right and I'm wrong. Am I really just misunderstanding everything? It would be wonderful if that was true. I wished I was wrong so many times. I wished Mio-san's scrapbooks were nothing but a bunch of stories and the parasite doesn't exist. Some coincidences happened to connect together, and I interpreted them the wrong way. I really wish that was the case. Don't give up, Rinryugu. Be cool, Rinryugu. This guy has poison in his words. He's trying to take advantage of my weakness. Everything is too obvious not to believe. It's obvious the aliens have been trying to invade Earth. He's using this village as their base ever since it was called Onigafuchi. Keiichi-kun is a victim who's being controlled by them. He's just a victim. But when he grabbed my wrist really hard on that day, I could tell his intentions were true. I still remember the strength of his grip on my wrist. He tried to save me, his friend. I got lost in this crazy delusional maze many times. I prayed over and over that somebody would help me, and now my prayers are answered, and Keiichi-kun is reaching for my hand again. But not the chimes! No! We were on a path. I thought we were on a good, logical path. And then chime time started. But don't forget, Rinryugu, this guy says he's your friend, but he hasn't told you everything about himself. Don't you remember? Oishi-san told... She told me what? He told me about what he found out. I couldn't trust my friends, so Oishi checked on everybody, including Keiichi-kun. That's why I know about what he did before he moved here. He looks like he's a good guy on the outside, but he's crazy on the inside. I can't trust him. I shouldn't trust him. So what? I don't care who he was before he moved here. I did many bad things in Ibaraki, too. I did many unforgivable things. I hurt my friends really badly, broke the windows at the school, and was suspended. I was a very bad girl. Did he treat me differently because of that? No, he didn't. Rinryugu is Rinryugu. He'll forgive me because it was Rinryugu who did all those bad things in Ibaraki. He won't forgive me. I should know better. Keiichi Maebara believes that I'm a kind and modest girl because he doesn't know Reina. If he found out about Reina, what would he do? He wouldn't do anything. He wouldn't be scared of me. Reina is Reina. Reina is a different girl. The same goes for Keiichi-kun. I don't care who he was before he moved here. We're even.
大丈夫か、レナ。
触るな。汚らわしい。
Reina knocked my hand aside when I reached for her.
さっきから聞いていれば仲間とやかましい。仲間だから信じろ？仲間だから世界中すべてより正しいだと？それこそ妄言じゃないか。
なんと言われたって俺はお前の仲間だ。だから絶対にお前のためになることを言っている。疑うな。絶対に俺が正しい。
へえ。じゃあ聞いてもいい？
ああ、何でも聞け。
仲間ってのは隠し事なんてないんだよね。
当然だ。 隠し事なんかしない。
嘘だよ。
嘘なんかつかない。
嘘だ。
Oh! Uh-oh.
何がおかしいよ。
圭一くん、隠し通せてるつもりなんだ。私知ってるんだよ。圭一くんが引っ越してくる直前にどういうことしてたか知ってるんだよ。
Felt as if my entire body was covered in frosty needles. My body and mind froze all of a sudden. I don't believe this. I don't believe this. How come she knows about that?
大石さんに調べてもらったんだよ。みんなのこと。
Rena knows our browser history and she's telling everybody.
そしたら圭一くん、引っ越しの前はとんでもない人だったんだよね。
やめろ。あれは違うんだ。
ずいぶん悪いことしてたみたいだね。
What?
さとこちゃんとリカちゃんにも話しておかないとね。こんな危ない人が身近にいたなんて信じられないよ。
違う。それはたまたまなんだ。
モデルガンで通行人を連続して襲撃。すごい。ひなみ沢村連続開始事件に負けないくらいインパクトあるよ。
違うんだよ。あれは本当に。
何がどう違うの？数週間の間に見ず知らずの通行人を狙って通りがかりにモデルガンで撃ちつける。
What a
恐ろしい
fucking
事件
prick!
だった。
Ow! I've been shot with a BB gun. That does not feel good.
市内一帯は一時期騒然。 PTA が交差点ごとに立ち集団下校にもなったんだってね。目に当たって大怪我した人もいたんでしょ。
Oh, Jesus!
幸い後遺症にはならなかったそうだけど。モデルガンなんて武器を持って誰彼構いなしに面白半分で付け狙ういやらしさ。そんなことして何が楽しかったの？でも楽しかったからずっと続けてたんだよね。そのくせ途中で両親の呵責に耐えられなくなってご両親と一緒に自首。責任取るのもご両親と一緒じゃないとダメなわけ？少年法って親切よね。被害者にも犯人の名前は公開されないし、お父さんが大金持ちだったから示談金をたくさん積んでくれたんだよね。
Yeah, oh man. After 5, this episode is a lot. There's so much.
それで大ごとにしない約束を取り付けてまったりとしばらくは保護観
So
察。
hey, what? Hey, guess what? It sounds like literally everybody in this cast of characters has got some fucked up shit in their past, huh? I bet we were... Who was waiting for the dirt to finally come out on KH here? Did everybody think this boy was squeaky clean? I want to know, where was Chad at? Like, did we think that he was clean boy this whole time? Just good visual novel protagonist, pure boy? Arc 3 had some stuff? Gotcha.
それでほとぼりが冷めた頃合いにお金に任せて遠方へ引っ越しして全部チャラ。 お金持ちは。
違うんだ。違うんだ。
そんなこと、どうして今まで黙ってたの？
But like, how has this never been mentioned, even as an interlocutor? Because the boy's trying to start over. Like, I really think that it's just like I don't think that this is an ass pull. I think that it's literally just wants to start over in a bad way. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get more into Keiichi's head about this. But right now, it just kind of like, it does feel a little left fieldy.
前の学校ではずっと勉強漬けだった？どうしてそんな嘘をつくの？
ごめん。嘘ってわけじゃ。
仲間ってのは隠し事なんかなしでしょ？
So this scene in the anime is downright fucking striking. I'm not taking anything away from this, but the way that this scene is staged in the anime is downright frightening. Like, when I watched it the first time, I felt like I was the one being called out. The performance is just that fucking striking. It's absolutely just haunting. It's a really good scene. Y'all are gonna really love that when you watch the Tsumihoroboshi arc in the anime, I think. Yeah, they have gone over Keiichi's past a little bit, but they jumped a little bit too. He's very clearly kind of trying to push things to the side, much like Rena is, though she's kind of probably had more reason to, and obviously she's kind of had like she's been, you know, chemically altered in the past as well to kind of just like push bad things to the side. So I don't believe Keiichi's kind of been on the same psychoactive regimen as she has.
そうでしょ？じゃあお前は仲間じゃない。
Wow, we just got friend dumped. The blades of her words hit hard and they made my eyes bleed. The blood was clear and it tasted
私
salty.
も過去の事件からお前が怪しいと思ってる。それを隠しきれてると思わないで。
Wow. I remember how deeply I regretted it. I couldn't regret enough. I wanted to forget it, but I couldn't. I made a stupid mistake. Why? Why does she have to bring it up right now? I apologized and accepted everything, and I moved here to put it behind me. I wanted to have a fresh start in Hinamizawa. I swore to myself to live a clean life from now on. Everything is ruined now. I'll be a criminal no matter where I go. I was stressed out with my exam studies. I was frustrated. I randomly shot people. I didn't care if it was girls or kids. Why did I do something so stupid? There was no reason. I had no reason to do that. I just wanted to get someone's attention. I didn't have the courage to tell my parents that I didn't want to study. I just wanted somebody to scold me, so I used a childish way to get attention. I regret what I did. I swear I'll never do something that stupid again. If I do it again, they can send me to the chair. If there was something I could do to be completely forgiven, I'd do it, no matter what it was. It's Takano-tastic. But no matter how deeply I regret it, and no matter how long I atone for my sin, I'll never be forgiven. That's why I wanted to sweep the whole thing under the carpet and have a fresh start. I have nothing to say if somebody tells me that forgetting my sin is an act of cowardice. Sins are sins. You can't just get rid of them. You have to carry them with you the rest of your life. I know that's the fate of a sinner. If you didn't want to live like that, don't be a sinner. I understand that logic too. But then, how are sinners supposed to live?
とにかく、お前は仲間じゃない。
Damn. Double friend dumped.
仲間じゃないやつの指図は受ける言われはない。私のことは当分放っておいてもらう。いいね。
I didn't notice until she spoke that I was on my knees hanging my head. Run to pick up the hatchet she dropped earlier. I wanted her to hit my head with it. Yeah, that's right. If anything's going to be torn apart, I'd rather it be my body. Compared to the pain of my heart being torn into shreds, I'd rather she cut my head off. I believed it. I still believed it. I still believe it right at this moment. I believe I'm their friend. But in fact, I'm starting to become aware of it. I want to believe I'm their friend because I don't want to accept my past. I'm trying to tell myself that, but I feel stupid crying like this. My face is all messy with tears. I was never their friend. I'm a sinner, and I hid my past from them. I hid it because I was scared. I told her that friends don't hide anything from one another, and I hid my past from them. I hid my sin from them. My past has nothing to do with how I live my life here. If I ever attacked a kid in this village just because I was frustrated, I wouldn't mind it if they killed me and cut me into pieces. But I'll never do anything like that again. I just want to live normally. What I did before I moved here has nothing to do with my life now. For instance, Rena moved here too. I wouldn't change the way I see her, even if I found out she did something bad before she moved here, right? I wouldn't. Would I? Even if Rena beat some of her friends or broke all the windows of her school, I wouldn't care because it happened in Ibaraki. She didn't do that in Hinamizawa. Rena is Rena. She's my best friend. That's why I wouldn't see her differently, even if I found out about her past. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. I'd keep a distance from her if I found out she really did such things. I'd be scared of her. I wouldn't try to listen to her. Why? It's just a rumor. Why would I be scared of her? She's my best friend. If I was in her situation, would I reject her just like she did? So Rena's rejection of me was completely natural. Then what am I supposed to do? I was the only one crying. Rena wasn't crying. She looked at me as if she was looking at something dirty. After giving me a nasty look, she disappeared into the darkness. Rena didn't forgive me. There was nothing I could do to atone for my sin but keep crying, still down on my knees. Fuck, man. What a chapter. God. The reason we moved to Hinamizawa. This is probably going to be spicy. Oh, now you'll tell us. I don't remember how many years ago it was. There was this beautiful village surrounded by nature, but the village was going to be submerged in water because of the new dam project, and the villagers protested against it en masse. They held a sightseeing tour so people from other places could enjoy the local beauty. I joined the tour out of simple curiosity. I wanted to take a look at the nature that might sink and under the water. But when I got there, the place took my breath away. The air was so clean and clear, and the landscape was beautiful beyond words. Since then, I was hooked on the inspiring nature of the place. I fell in love with this village so much that I was very glad when I heard about that the dam project was canceled. The village is where I'm building our new house. When I visited there, I found a beautiful field of wildflowers. I saw two cute girls playing in that field. Both of them were very beautiful with long straight hair. They were probably neighbors or best friends. I still remember how they looked. One of them had a very beautiful face with a clear-cut profile for her age, and the other had a very pretty, innocent look. I'm sure both of them will grow up into fine, beautiful ladies in the future. They were running around in the field like they were dancing. I asked them if the field was their playground. They said they were playing in hopes of newcomers would come to the village. Then I saw a sign that said lot for sale. That was when I began to think that it might be a great place to live. There was nothing here, and things are a bit inconvenient compared to the life in the city. But I sincerely believe this was the best place for us to start a new life together as a family. A lot of things happened back in the city, but the past is the past. It's best we move on. We learn from our mistakes, and I hope we can start a new, more ideal life in this village. Keiichi, I hope you'll grow to love it here as much as I do. You do? I'm happy to hear that. I'm also happy that we've been doing a lot better as a family since we moved here. Back in the city, we were far from close, so I'm truly happy that we were able to start from scratch. Now that I've come to think about it, I've never had a chance to have a conversation with you like this before. Okay, Chief. You know those two beautiful girls with long straight hair in your school? I think they're a lot younger than you. Oh, you know two young beautiful girls where one has short hair, huh? I don't think that they're the ones I saw. You want to know why I asked? Oh, I just wanted to ask them to be models for my portraits. I was thinking of making them wear cute costumes. But basically, I just wanted to see them again, for artistic reasons. So if you happen to see them, let your dad know, okay? Promise me, okay? Okay, at least Dad got his shit beat in. But that's gonna do it for us this evening. Of course, I want to thank everybody again for coming out. Oh boy, this one was a doozy. But we will again convene here tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I mean, unless y'all want to do another chapter. Look, I'm open to doing another chapter if everybody wants to do another chapter. I will leave it to chat right here and right now. If you want another chapter, I'll give it to you. I have nothing going on this evening, so it's entirely up to y'all. If y'all want another one, we can do it. If you want to call it there, I'm fine with that. You got your Shion skirt on and you ain't even seen no Shion. Dang it. Surely only good things can happen to the chapter after what we just saw. Nert has a good point. We can't possibly go lower. Alright. It looks like the overall consensus is that we'll do another one, so I'll tell you what. I'll be back in like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to stretch a little bit. And we'll knock out another one. Because I love y'all. Right? Alright. I'll be right back. Alright, how we feeling? How we feeling, Hinamizawa Club? How we doing out there? Oh, man. You're feeling death hype. A little something like that. Yeah, yeah. After 5, it doesn't sound like you have the most positive outlook on what may or may not be coming. That makes me worry. You're worrying me after 5. Got some tea up in here. You vibing. Alright. Good, good, good. It's not you. It's the aliens. Oh, man. There's so many aliens, though. God, why are there so many aliens? There's so many. Alright. Let's get back into it. We're gonna just blast out another one here. Eating sandwiches. Good. I like sandwiches. Sandwiches are pretty good. Okay, getting my stuff situated here. There we go, now we're all situated and organized. There we go. Alright. First, we drop nice hot save. And continue on to chapter 12. At lunchtime the next day, everybody in class was talking about Rena's disappearance. We were all worried about her safety, but I kept a safe distance from everybody else.
レナはどこに行っちゃったんだろうね。鬼隠しにあったなんて、
Maybe
いい
we'll
加減
get
な
a
ことを
tree
言
in
って
this
る連中もい
chapter.
るよ。
Maybe it's fate that we went another chapter because we'll get a tree in this chapter. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe Oyashiro-sama is just waiting to bless you, Sayara.
まったく。
ケイチさん、今日は元気がありませんでしたよ。
No, Keiichi's probably fine.
みー。
Satoko and Rika-chan noticed something odd about my
俺は
attitude. I couldn't sleep at all last night because of what Rena told me. Friends don't keep secrets from one another. That sentence bit into my heart, and I couldn't sleep because of the pain.
ミオ、サトコもリカちゃんも話しておきたいことがあ
Oh,
る。
God, is he just gonna do it? Oh, wow. Is he just gonna... Oof. You are a brave boy right now if you were doing what I think you're doing.
レナに関すること？
いや、そうじゃない。
Oh, wow.
俺自身についてのことなんだ。
I decided to tell them about it because they were my friends, but I didn't know what I was expecting to change by doing so. They might despise me. Was there any benefit to telling them? No, there wasn't. I knew that for sure, but I still wanted to tell them about it, just because I thought it'd help heal the pain I was feeling.
ケイチさんのことですの？
ああ、ちょっと真面目な話なんだ。聞いてほしい。俺が引っ越してくる前のことなんだ。
Oh, wow, he's gonna do it.
当時の俺は勉強しか脳のないやつだった。
Yeah, Mion. I learned the tricks of the game called studying at my cram school. I enjoyed the sense of superiority I felt by getting good grades. I kept studying just because I wanted to look down on the other students. When my grades got better, my parents got happier, and my teachers praised me. I felt good. It was fun to look down on the students who were good at running, dodgeball, or swimming. That was the only reason I kept studying. Before I knew it, not only was I at the top of my class, I was at the top of my school, so I started to think I was the most important student there. I looked down on the kids who were playing in the schoolyard during lunch break. I enjoyed feeling a sense of superiority to them and my insignificance. The more I studied, the better everybody expected me to do. They started to place high hopes on me. They expected me to go to the best school in Japan. I flattered myself into thinking I deserved to go to that school as well. But the fun went out of looking down on people, while the burden of studying didn't change a bit. My classmates stopped admiring my cleverness after a while, and my teachers started to push me to study more. All of a sudden, the fun had gone out of it. To begin with, I didn't even like to study. I had average reflexes, I was average in a fight, and I was an average boy with nothing that really drew attention. So when I found something that I could use to get attention, I jumped on it. It happened to be studying for me, but if it was riding a unicycle or juggling, I would have done that too. When I realized I didn't enjoy studying anymore, it got very boring. I was just a little boy who wanted to be praised when I did something better than anybody else. I finished all of my summer homework because my parents praised me for it, and I took charge of cleaning duties at school because my teachers praised me for it. So when they stopped praising me for what I did, I began to feel as though my life had no meaning. My parents used to give me an allowance that was proportional to how good my grades were, so I used to get a substantial amount of money for my age. I didn't know if I had a natural interest in violence, or if I was just looking for it because of my frustration at the time. I took an interest in BB guns. At first, I shot at cardboard boxes. It was fun. Being violent at pieces of cardboard relieved a lot of stress. Shout out to Nintendo Labo. Nobody blamed me for doing that. But soon I started wanting to do something I should never have done. On the box of my BB gun came in the warning label that read, "Do not shoot at people." That was when I thought about doing just that. Why did I do something I shouldn't have? I guess I was just immature. I wasn't interested in studying anymore, but I forced myself to do so anyway. My parents forced me to go to several cram schools. I was mad at them for that. I should have told them I didn't want to study anymore, but I didn't have the courage to do that. So I used my frustration as an excuse to do something cowardly. I shot at kids who were younger than I was with my BB gun. It gave me such a thrill. It felt so good to do something bad when I was so overcome with studying. Yeah. I mean, I expect this is kind of a dumb decision. I expect a preteen / early teenager to make. Needless to say, I had no personal grudge against the kids I shot. As long as the kids passed through the deserted street, they met the requirements to become my targets. I didn't mean to hurt them. I shot them once or twice from a distance. That was all I wanted to do. But sometimes they didn't react at all because the BBs hit a thicker part of their clothes or something. I didn't like that, so I started to shoot until they noticed they were being hit. It inevitably escalated into a barrage of gunfire. I study a lot. I'm doing something good. So I deserve to do something bad to balance out the good thing I'm doing. That was the unbelievably selfish excuse I made. I thought I had the right to do things like that because I was suffering myself. I thought people who weren't suffering like I was deserved to be shot at and get hurt a little bit. I was so selfish, so arrogant, and so immature. I was disgusted with myself. If I could have met myself at that time, I would have given myself a punch in the face so hard I'd knock out all of my teeth. They started to call it a series of attacks on school children. The principal of my school held a morning assembly to inform everybody about the case and to warn them to be careful when playing outside. I was laughing sneakily. The PTA issued a letter of warning and advice to take the safest way home from school. Parents took turns watching kids when they walked between home and school in groups. The more serious it got, the more it reminded me of the excitement I first felt when my grades started going up. I was absorbed in the game I was playing. I didn't think I'd get caught someday. I didn't even think to stop doing it either. One day, I found a little girl who was walking down a narrow, dark street all alone. She was a very small girl. I didn't know if she was on her way to her friend's house or if she was running an errand. I didn't care which. It was careless of her to go alone. The school had warned her not to, so it was her fault. Just like always, I made the selfish excuse and attacked her. Some of the shots hit her in the back. She noticed she was attacked by somebody. She turned around. It was a natural reaction. At that time, I didn't hesitate to rain hell upon her. So when she turned around, I was still shooting at her. Usually when I shot at a kid, she cried in pain and ran away. But this girl was different. She thrashed around in excruciating pain, holding one of her eyes. When I saw her doing that, I realized what had happened right away. The BB had hit her in the eye. Until that moment, I didn't think about what would happen when a pellet could easily go through a cardboard box, hit an eyeball, Anyway, the girl howled in pain, and for the first time, I realized I had done something horrible. She saw me, so I couldn't take her to the hospital. I couldn't do anything about it, so I left her there while she was still screaming in pain. I wondered if she was okay, and I worried that she had lost her eye. I kept thinking about her, and I didn't even feel like eating that day. I went to the bookshelf in our living room, snuck a medical book out of my room, and studied the structure of the human eye. It was too late to make a difference, but I studied what kind of injuries would make a person lose their vision. I knew it wouldn't make the sin I committed weigh any less, even if I found out that she wouldn't lose her eyesight. I couldn't sleep at night, and I suffered from a high fever. It wasn't my parents, my teachers, or the police who first punished me for what I did. It was my own body. Before dawn, I woke my parents up and confessed to my sin. They were shocked at first, but it seemed like they understood the situation quickly due to my recent disobedient behavior and my interest in BB guns. My mom cried hysterically. My dad slapped me in the face until it swelled up. Before the sun came up, I turned myself into the police, accompanied by my parents. Satoko stared at me with a stunned expression. I deserved to receive that kind of look. What I did was very wrong, and I needed to accept that.
それ、本当ですの？
ああ、本当だ。今まで隠していて、悪かった。
なんで、そんなことを今頃になって、わざわざ言おうと思ったわけ？
Mion asked me. Rika-chan nodded in agreement.
本音から言うとさ、ケイちゃんどうしたのって感じかね。
まあ、そりゃそうだよな。
違うよ。そんなことわざわざ言い出す必要あったのかなってね。
いや、隠し事をするなんて、仲間じゃないよな。
Look, I kind of already got busted for this once, and if I get busted for it again for not telling after I got busted, I'm gonna look much worse.
俺は、みんなのことを仲間だと思ってる。だから、もう隠してなんかいられなかったんだ。
圭一は、それを僕たちに話して、何を期待しているのですか？
期待なんて別にないよ。俺はただ、
許しが欲しくても、僕にはあげられないのです。圭一が怪我をさせた人たちにしか、それは与えられませんのです。だから、僕たちにそれを話しても、何の期待にも応えられないのですよ。リカの言う通りですわね。潔いのは認めますけれど、そんなことを私たちに打ち明けてどうしたいって言うんですの？
Yeah, like everybody's got some dark shit going on.
どうしたいってことはないよ。ただ、仲間に隠し事は。
It's like, look, y'all, Rena hid some dark shit from us, and look what happened. If I keep hiding really dark shit, like, yeah, like, Mion is actually Shion, Rika is, whatever just happened. My friends looked annoyed by the sudden confession of my past. I took it as a bitter medicine. I got what I deserved.
ケイちゃんさ、ちょいとここで質問なんだけどさ、仲間に隠し事ってしたらいけないわけ？
え？
Yeah, like Mion literally has a murder basement. And they're literally Yakuza.
ケイちゃんの論法だと、隠し事をしないのが仲間みたいな話だけどさ、おじさんはそんなの嫌だね。
僕も嫌です。
Mion and Rika-chan obviously disagreed with my statement. Satoko nodded, following suit.
言いたくないことを言わないで何が悪いわけ？人には話したくないことや辛いこと、悲しいこと、失敗したことや思い出したくないことがたくさんある。それを全部打ち明けないと仲間と呼べないんなら、私はそんな仲間はいらないね。
でも、それじゃあ。
圭一、打ち明けなくていいことと、打ち明けなくてはならないことは違いますのです。罪は、許しを得るために打ち明けなくてはならない。でも、打ち明けて許された罪は、もう打ち明ける必要はないのですよ。
See, I'm kind of on the fence with this logic. I'm not really with them here. I think if you did some real bad shit, like if I killed someone, I think I'd probably, let my community know about that. I'd probably say, look, y'all, I killed someone. I mean, I'm just saying, maybe there are some things you probably should share. Maybe there are some indie devs who have done some things that in the past maybe should have said something about it before it got unearthed, and now, 2020's been a trip, everybody.
そうですわね。だってケイチさんはちゃんとおまわりさんのところに行って怒られてきたんでございましょう。それで償いをして許してもらえたなら、それでケイチさんの罪はおしまいですわよ。
自首してその結果を受け入れたなら、それでケイちゃんのお務めは終わりだよ。もちろんケイちゃんが罪の十字架を背負い続けることはとても大切なこと。二度と過ちを繰り返さないよう、常に胸に刻み続けるのは正しいことだよ。
This is kind of that. We kind of live in a world where it's adults that try to play this card. I think is like where it's kind of like where I get a little about it. It's like we live in a world now where adults try to play this card, and it doesn't work so well when you are an adult and you know better. Yeah.
でもね、それはケイちゃんが自戒することであって、打ち明けなくちゃいけないことではない。
そうですわよ。過去の恥ずかしい話なんかは私も内緒にしたいことがたくさんございましたよ。
What could possibly be embarrassing, Satoko? What could you have possibly ever done that's embarrassing?
さとこは特にいっぱいいっぱいありますのです。
Rika, just busting the shit out of Satoko right now. Just waboo.
私だけじゃございませんのよ。リカもですわよ。リカもですわよ。
You got a triple meep there! Oh no. Satoko and Rika-chan fooled around with each other like they always did. Mion looked at them and looked back at me.
今、サトコはとてもいいことを言ったと思う。ケイちゃんにはどの部分かわかる？
過去の話は内緒にしたいというところか？
違う。その次の部分。誰にだってあるってところだよ。無菌室の試験管の中で育った人間でもない限り、人の人生は試行錯誤の繰り返しだと思う。
Satoko is absolute trash.
いいことも悪いことも、いろいろなことを繰り返して成長して、それで最後の最後に素晴らしい人間になれればいいんじゃない？
Trashoko.
いいことも悪いことも、すべてとても大切な経験なんだと思う。それは誰でも同じで、ケイちゃんだけじゃない。私にも、サトコにも、リカちゃんにも。
Well, yeah, she's always gonna be garbage child, trash child, garbage goblin. Look, we shed many tears for Satoko in her situation. I think it's very obvious we are sensitive to what she has gone through, okay? I think we've proven that. But just like any good friend, I can pull her aside and just drop her in the trash can every now and again. And we're pals about it. We're pals like that.
いや、クラスの全員にも当てはまることなんだよ。
例えば、ミーはもっと昔は札付きの悪猫さんだったのですよ。
What? Are you kidding?
にゃーにゃー。
What? No, I'm not buying it. I don't buy that for a second. Yeah, like you've been stuck in the polycam for 2 years now.
まあ本当はあんまり言いたかないんだけどね。私から見ればモデルガンで闇討ちなんてかわいいもんだって。私なんかレンガとか投げつけてたよ。警察に何度お世話になったことやら。 ダム戦争の最中はちょっとした留置場常
Rika's
連だった
throwing
よ。
shade at Mion, and Mion is about to break out the bricks. Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, I think that, like, the way that Satoko's written, in both, is that she's supposed to be an annoying kid that gets on your nerves and you're supposed to hate her. That way they can rip the rug out from under you later. But the anime doesn't do as good a job of pulling the rug out from under you in the same way that the VN does. The anime has a lot of very powerful scenes with Satoko, but yeah, like the VN really just, look, the difficulty was the worst.
いやいや
Want me to
本当
bring
に
out the bricks?
でも昔のことなのですよ。そしてそれを圭一に言う必要はないのです。仲間であってもなのです。
仲間であっても。
私だってとても言えないような苦い過ちや罪がいくつもありま
You've
す。
committed crimes? I want to hear Satoko-related crimes.
でも言わないのは言っても仕方がないからですわ。
How's it
言
going,
って楽になる
Poncho?
なら
Welcome.
私たちは聞くよ。
Our crowd tonight, they were hungry for more, so we're doing 2 Higurashi chapters tonight. So I think I'm gonna push the end of Abduction Across 3 Worlds to tomorrow night.
でもね、仲間だから言わなければならないなんてルールはない。むしろ仲間なら言いたくない過去を察してあえて聞かないのが本当の仲間なんじゃない？
それはそうだけど。
ケイちゃんが打ち明けて楽になったならそれでいいよ。私たちは今日の話をすぐにでも忘れる。それに今日の話を聞いたからケイちゃんとの接し方を変えるような
Oh
こともな
man,
い。
Keiichi got some real pals right now.
圭一が前の町でしたことなんて今の圭一と何の関係もないのです。今の圭一が僕たちにとってかけがえのない仲間であるのなら前の町のことなん理科の言う通りで、逆に前の町でどんなに善行を積もうともこちらに来て嫌な人だったなら前の町の善行なんかしたことじゃありませんわね。
I know, right?
ってことはさ、ケイちゃん、前の町での十字架はケイちゃんが密かに胸に秘めることであってこっちでわざわざ口にする必要なんてないんじゃない？いや、仮に口にしてもだ。それでケイちゃんの見方を変える程度のやつだったら私はそいつの方を見下げるね。
Go Mion!
過去が何だろうと今が素晴らしい人間であるならばどうして恥じることがございますの？もし過去の過ちを一生取り戻せなかったら私たちは何のために生き続けますの？聡子は過去にとても甘えん坊さんでした。
Used to be. Rika, what's this used to be shit? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
それを後悔して今はこんなにも元気で頑張っていますのです。だから僕は今の聡子はとても素晴らしいと思いますです。
Like, she's got her hands up ready to cry already. It's just a natural reaction.
昔どうだったかなんて僕は興味ないのです。リカ、
ケイちゃんだってどうよ。例えば私が留置場常連の札付きだとしたら私への見方を変える？変えないでしょ。私は私。いつものように楽しくふざけ合える関係は何も変わらないでしょ。それが仲間ってもんだもん。
What? What's going on? Miana's trying to cheer me up with an encouraging smile on her face, but her expression became distorted all of a sudden. Big teardrops fell from my eyes. What? Why am I crying?
先に言っとく。俺はサトシのことは何も知らない。みんなが隠してたからな。
隠してたってわけじゃ。
毎年起こる事件のこと隠してたろ。
それはケイちゃんを
怖がらせたくなかったってのか？それが理由で俺だけのけ者かよ。
いや、そんなつもりじゃ。
Mion didn't know what to say. She had tears in her eyes. She thought that she did me a favor. She didn't know why it turned out like this. She didn't want to make me scared of the village since I had just moved here. What more reason did she
ミオンに
need?
直にダム現場で事件がなかったかって聞いたよな。ミオンはないって言ったじゃないか。バラバラ殺人があったのによ。嘘つき野郎。
ごめん。嘘ってわけじゃ。
仲間ってのは隠し事なんかなしだろ。そうだろ。じゃあお前らは仲間じゃない。
How do you guys like themes that wrap around and come full circle?
What are friends? What are friends? What are friends to me? They were my true friends. They really cared about me. They were so nice to me and helped me feel at home in this village. I couldn't have been happier. Everything was great, wasn't it?
ケイちゃん、そんなのって。
Mion seemed like she didn't know what to say. Her eyes looked moist. It was hard to believe she was really acting like this. It really wasn't like Mion at all. I could feel her pain. She was in pain because she didn't know what I was blaming her for. She looked so sad, but I didn't notice her pain. I thought I was her friend. I didn't understand her feelings. I didn't trust her. I just used the word friends, but I didn't know anything like what friends were supposed to do.
そうだった。俺はクズだったんだ。ミオンはミオンだったんだ。俺の最高の仲間だったんじゃないか。どうしてミオンを疑っちまったんだ。どうして。
ケイちゃんさ、最近元気ないよね。
都会から引っ越してきたんだもん。きっと今頃になって疲れが出てきたんだよ。それで風邪をひいたんじゃないかな。
そっかそっか。じゃあ栄養をつけさせてあげないとね。バッチャが今日おはぎを作ってるんだよ。いくつか分けてもらってケイちゃんへのお見舞いにでもしてあげるか。
こんなミオン手を洗んとね。おいやリナちゃん、一つやってるんかい。
へえ、おはぎ作りって面白そうですね。レナも一つだけ作らせてもらおうかな。よいしょ。
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard Oreo like somebody before.
そうだそうだ、いいこと思いついたよ。
なにみーちゃん。あ、その小瓶何かな。
甘いおはぎだけじゃ退屈しちゃうだろうからね。うち一つにはクリティカルヒットでタバスコを混ぜておいてあげよう。
Oh! That's right. That's what happened. They brought Ohagi to me to help me get better. They only tried to cheer me up. Why did I get so scared of them? Just because Mion knew I had a lunch at Angel Mort, I grew terrified of her.
ケイチくん、顔色悪いよ。もう横になった方がいいと思うな。
Yeah, this was a real smart move, actually. Waiting to do this, like, this would have just been, like, these two chapters back to back are a very fucking smart move. Wow.
そうだね。私たちはもう帰ろう。
They just wanted to cheer me up with a joke, but because I looked so serious...
じゃあねケイちゃん
Please get better soon. I hope we can hang out in the club together tomorrow. That was a normal way of saying goodbye.
明日学校休んじゃ嫌だよ
First of all, have I ever visited any of my classmates who were absent with a cold? No, I haven't. I've never done such a nice thing to anybody because it's too much of a bother. But they did that for me. I understand visiting a friend in a hospital, but I just caught a cold. But they came to visit me with Ohagi so I could get better soon. I should have been thankful to them and said, I'll get better soon. I'm sure I can come to school tomorrow. I'll see you then. That was what I was supposed to say. But what did I do instead? What did he do instead, chat? Pop quiz!
What did he do?
I locked the door. I closed the door and locked it as if rejecting them. Was I so scared? What was I so scared of? What was I so afraid of? Why didn't I say any words of appreciation to my friends who cared about me? I was just so scared of the ohagi they brought for me. What was I thinking? It was impossible that there was a needle in one of them. There wasn't actually a needle at all. It was all in my head because I had read some manga about someone putting needles or razor blades in people's food. He threw them on the ground because he's an adult. He played some baseball. Made good decisions more. It scared me so much that I believed it could also happen to me for some reason, and I bought that there was a needle in the ohagi. You were so stupid, Keiji. Why would your friends put a needle in food they only brought to make you get better? It was crazy to think like that. Even if there was a needle in one of them, I should have thought that it was some kind of mistake, and I should have believed in my friend's innocence. That's what a true friend would do. But what did I do? Pound, splatter, smash. I threw the... Hey, remember the fun joke we had about this image? We had a real fun... I don't know if Nert was with us around this time, but this particular image right here of the ohagi on the kitchen wall ended up being a very funny mental image I painted for everybody. We said that it looked like somebody forgot to wipe their butt and just kind of kissed the wall with their butthole. We're mature around here, I'll have you know. Very high class humor. I threw the ohagi that they spent so much effort making onto the floor. You are thankful you missed such highbrow humor? I'm shocked, Nerd. Shocked! Why? Why did I do that? I got along so well with them. I moved to Hinamizawa and I made friends the first time in my life. They were my best friends. Meeting them was the most wonderful experience of my life. I'd probably never have another one like that the rest of my days. I knew that, but I got scared and I doubted them. That's what good friends are for after 5. Yeeting them was the best experience. Higurashi Dinner Club. Yep, we are the maturest crowd streaming Higurashi, I can assure you. They noticed that I was acting odd. That's why they called the manager Irie. They thought a sedative might help me relax so I could rest and get better. That's why they carried me up to my room. Mion just wanted to make it fun. She was the kind of person who expresses her goodwill by making a joke out of it. I knew that better than anybody. She knew Irie would roll up my shirt and check my heartbeat with a stethoscope. She was just trying to draw graffiti on my shirt just like she did Tomitake as a punishment when he lost. Yes, that's why Mion took a felt marker out of her pocket. Oh. A felt marker. She brought a marker from home just because she wanted to do something funny. She tried to cheer me up by making me take punishment for fun rather than nursing me because it's just what Mion is like. She went to the trouble of bringing a felt marker to my house just because she wanted to cheer me up. Rena held me down tightly and Mion came closer to me. She wrote something on my shirt. Mion whispered the words she was going to write on my shirt. I heard them. I heard them clearly. I heard she was going to write on my shirt. I hope you get well soon, Mion. I heard them. Then why? I should have known she wasn't going to do anything to hurt me. Then why? Why? Why did the marker look like a syringe to me? Why did I think that Mion was going to kill me? It was impossible. It was impossible. Why? Why did I misunderstand what Mion was going to kill me? The numbness in my head receded, and slowly I felt blood start to run through my entire body again. How long was I squatting down there? For a few minutes? Or a lot longer than that? As I looked up at the clock, the hands weren't moving at all, as if they had stopped while my eyes were closed. Yeah, this is kind of hitting pretty hard already, again. Really? The atmosphere in the room wasn't filled with the insanity like earlier, but it was quiet and gray. Rena wasn't holding me down. Mion wasn't about to give me an injection. Was all of that just some kind of illusion? There was no sense of presence other than myself in the room. It was just an extraordinary experience, a kind I'd never had before. I was there with Rena and Mion. I doubted my sanity for a moment, but at the same time, I felt some kind of relief too. The scary incident was just an illusion after all. Neither Rena nor Mion would have done such a terrible thing to me. Tears started forming in my eyes. My emotions were running high. Why? It wasn't a question of why tears were forming in my eyes. Why? It was a question of my sadness. Why did I feel so sad? I don't know. I don't know. You don't know? What do you mean you don't know? You do know. I was so stupid. What the hell was I doing? I was so pathetic and helpless. Mion just tried to cheer me up. That was all. I liked her so much. She was my best friend. She was older than me, but she hung out with me like we were the same age. She was the first one who came to talk to me in class. She was nice to me, but Mion was lying down in an unnatural position near the window. She was covered in dusky red blood from her head to her chest. The red fluid splattered on the wall was Mion's. What had I done? What had I done? I would never forgive myself.
みんなのこと、本当に友達だと思ってたんだぜ。
Yeah, and I like how this is the answer arc to Onikakushi, but in an entirely different way. It's a really cool twist on what was going on. Why did all this happen? There was nothing fun in my life at my old school. When I talked to anyone, it was only ever about my chances of passing the entrance exam of the schools we wanted to go to. My life was shaded in gray. Friends to me were rivals and enemies to vie with for school recommendation and test scores. My friends here taught me just how unnatural that was. This whole month was a blast. We raised the roof over lunch, over club activities, and the festival. A warm liquid flowed from my eyes. To my surprise, it was my tears. I didn't have any obligation to cry for them, but I couldn't stop it. Even though they attempted to kill me, even though they almost killed me, I couldn't forget the memories we made during the past month. Or were those fun days fake? Why is Keiichi remembering this all of a sudden? Well, let's think about that. Was it an act that they kept playing perfectly to set me up until today? Was it only me who believed that they were my friends? It couldn't be. Rena and Mion, they were my friends for real. Those happy days couldn't have just been a performance. Rena and Mion must have been forced by somebody to kill me. Or that an extraordinary existence called Oishiro-sama possessed them and took over their consciousness. Yep, sounds real familiar. No matter what it was, both Rena and Mion were my best friends. I was stupid. I was such a fool. Such a fool. Such a fool. Such a fool. I wasn't making any sense at all. I killed my best friends. They were my best friends. Then why didn't I trust them? Why didn't I listen to them? I beat them to death. Who did I think I was? I made it sound like I didn't do anything wrong. I felt like everybody went crazy except me. I was such a fool. It was the other way around. Of course it was. I was the only one who went crazy.
ケイちゃん？
俺はなんてことをしてしまったんだよ。なんてこと。
Mion was still alive. I have a memory of beating her to death because I couldn't trust her, but that's a memory from a non-existent different world. But even though it happened in a different world, I killed Mion, and I didn't realize how deep that sin was. I even thought until now that Mion was at fault for being killed.
どうしたんですの、ケイイチさん。
わかんない。ケイちゃん、落ち着いて落ち着いて。私は生きてるよ。ケイちゃんになんか殴り殺されてたまるかっての。ねえ。
そうですわよ。ケイイチさんごときに遅れを取るようなのは我が部にはおりません。
We would all collectively beat your fucking ass, you little wuss puss boy.
違うんだ。
Mion and Satoko looked confused, having no idea why I was crying, but I couldn't help myself. I learned just now that I could earn redemption by confessing my sin, but I could never earn redemption for this, not from Mion. No matter how much I cried in this world, nobody could give me forgiveness. And so I could never earn redemption for this sin. Right then, Chie-sensei came in and noticed me crying. You wouldn't see a teenage boy crying like that very often. Chie-sensei asked me what was going on, but at that moment, I couldn't hear anything. Mion and Satoko looked confused. They didn't know how to explain the situation. Rika-chan approached me in the midst of my sobs.
ケイイチは覚えているのですか？レナとミーを殺したことを。
そうだ、俺が殺したんだ。なのに俺は何の罪も認めずに、まるで自分は被害者のつもりで、死ぬ最後の瞬間まで仲間を呪って恨んで、血がいっぱい出て、そして結局何の後悔もなく一人で勝手に死んだ。
I clawed at my itchy throat in a phone booth. I didn't notice my sin, and I died alone.
ケイイチ、あなたの罪に気づきましたのですか？
気づいた。こんなにも今頃になって、俺は気づいたよ。思い出したんだ。ここじゃない、別のよく似た世界で、俺はなぜか仲間たちに疑心暗鬼を持って殺してしまったんだ。仲間たちは俺に救いの言葉をかけていたはずなんだ。なぜそれに耳を傾けられなかった？どうしてだよ。
I didn't care if people were staring. I just kept crying. I wanted to transmute my sin into tears in order to squeeze it out of me. But the tears that were coming out of my eyes weren't my sin. They were just tears of regret for doing something irreversible. At that time, I felt something touching my head. I opened my eyes and saw Rika-chan patting my head gently. I didn't need any comfort. I didn't deserve any comfort from Rika-chan. But the words she spoke to me weren't ones of comfort.
ケイイチを許し。ケイイチは自分で自分の罪に気づきましたのです。それはとても偉くて普通ではありえないことなのです。だから誰もケイイチの偉さがわからなくて、それを許してあげることはできませんのです。でも僕にはそれを許すことができます。僕にはケイイチの凄さがわかるのです。
リカちゃん。
私はこれが奇跡であることがわかる。だってこれはありえないことなのだもの。あなたが別の自分の罪に気づくなんて絶対。なのにあなたはそれに気づけた。それはきっとこの地上に具現するどんな奇跡すらも霞むほどのもので、信じられないくらいに尊いもの。
I didn't understand anything Rika-chan was saying, but I felt like she's the only one who understand that impossible memory I had.
なら今のあなたにならわかるはず。リュウグウレナがどういうことになっているのか。
ああ、わかるぜ。あの時の俺と同じなんだ。仲間のことを信じたくてしょうがないのに、信じられないんだ。どんどん自分がおかしくなっていくのに、そいつがわからなくて、世界の方がおかしくなったって信じてやがるんだ。どうすりゃ救えるかなんてわからねえよ。わからないんだ。だって、俺はダメだった。結局、死ぬまで、いや、死んでも気づけなかったんだ。それをレナに気づかせるなんてどうやって。救えないよ、救えない。俺がそうだったからよくわかるんだ。どうやったってもう救えないんだ。
Calm down, Keiichi. I did fail, but that didn't mean Rena would too. There was no excuse not to save her because I thought she'd fail. After all, what did Rena do back then? I was totally going mad. She risked her life to save me. In my room, in that world, I had beaten her many times with a metal bat. But she was smiling. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hi. She knew I was scared, and that's why she smiled for me. I beat her so many times. Her arms were broken, and her forehead was cut open. I remembered Rena didn't block her head, even at the very last moment. She opened her arms toward me, like she was looking for a hug. But I still doubted her, and I raised the metal bat up high. Rena told me then that it was okay.
私を信じて。
Oh, yeah. My friend still told me to believe in her. She told me to trust her. But I still didn't, and lost it and attacked her. She was in danger. She was actually killed. But she didn't even block her head. Instead, she used her arms to reach out for me. Rena continued to say those words until the moment she died. Trust me. Please trust me. She risked her life to save me. Until her very last moments, she kept telling me to believe in her. But I didn't listen. For so long, I truly believed that I didn't do anything wrong.
リカちゃんに許してもらえて、少し心が軽くなった。でも、やっぱり俺の罪は同じ形で滅ぼさなきゃならないんだ。レナの目は俺が覚ます。
Rena risked her life to save me. She cared about me until her very last moments. She trusted me. She believed that her words would reach my heart, so she kept saying them until I cracked her skull. I don't care if I die. Rena died for me. I can die for her too. I was such a fool for failing to understand my friend's feelings. That's why I didn't understand what she was saying. But Rena might be
この世界はもうおかしくなっちまった。でも、だからといって諦めていいなんてことはねえんだよな。諦めるってことは信じないってことだ。俺はレナを、仲間の絆を信じるぜ。だから まだ間に合うんだ。惨劇は回避できる。運命には抗える。俺たちはあがく。そして掴めるんだ。その先の未来。
Rika-chan nodded with a serious look on her face, and she put her hand in the pocket of her skirt.
圭一、私も諦めない。この世界から希望を失ってたまるものか。私は数えきれない失敗に疲れ果ててた。だから世界がおかしくなることに諦めを感じるようになってた。だからもうレナがどうなろうと知ったことではないと夕べ思った。でもそれは間違いだった。戦おうとする意志がこんなにも美しく神々しくて、そして運命すらねじ曲げかねない奇跡が起こせることを知った。だから私はあなたと共に戦おう。もう一度戦おう。何度でも戦おう。その先の未来に至れるまで何度でも。
リカとケイチさんが何の話をしてる
Yeah, I
の
was about
か
to
さっ
say,
ぱりわかりませんで
literally
したよ。
everybody else is so fucking lost right now. Like, the Rika and Keiichi are the only two that have half a clue of what the fuck is going on.
覚えていないのは当然なのです。ケイチがすごいだけなのですよ。
私の高尚な脳みそではさっぱりでしたよ。
That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. Rika-chan tucks Satojo's forehead to hers.
でもいつかは思い出してあげてください。あなたが抗えぬ不幸の袋小路に囚われた時、ケイチはあなたを救おうと全身全霊をかけて戦ってくれたことを。
He mentioned this earlier as well, and it was played off very well. He mentioned that there could be a history where he fought and killed to protect one of his friends. And they just played it the fuck off. They didn't dwell on that shit. I was sitting here grinning ear to fucking ear, and they never called attention to it. It's so good.
ケイチさんがですの？眉唾でございますわよ。
ね、ケイチ。
Rika-chan looked at me, smiling as if waiting for my agreement. I wasn't sure if I could risk my life for Satoko. No, I was sure I'd risk my life for her. Satoko is my friend. If anybody tried to make her unhappy, I'd beat them up without hesitation. I'd risk my life to save her. There might even have been a world like that. I nodded to Rika-chan. Rika-chan nodded back to me, looking happy.
前原くん、何かありましたか？
Oh, it's fine, Chie-sensei. We're just talking about some metaphysical bullshit over here. No biggie. Chie-sensei realized that I'd finally calmed down and she asked
い
me
え
that.
なんでもないんです。騒がせてすみませんでした。それよりミオ。
何？
I walked towards her. Mion stepped back, not knowing what was going on. She bumped into the blackboard.
何ケイちゃん、マジな顔でどうしたの？
I held Mion tightly. She didn't know what was going on, and her face turned red. Crying on her shoulder, I told her the following.
すまなかった。本当にすまなかった。
Yeah, they hold on to this little idea. They plant this idea as early as the second chapter. And only now they kind of finally just drop the fucking thing right on you. And yes, this is a really good scene.
何がよ、ケイちゃん。おじさん、本当に何のことかわかんないよ。
Oh yeah, absolutely.
わかんなくてもいい。わかんなくてもいい。わかんなくてもいいから。聞いてくれ。本当にすまなかった。そして、おはぎ。うまかったぜ。本当にうまかった。元気が出た。だから、俺、明日からちゃんと学校に通えるから、また明日も、学校で会おうなって、それが、言えなくて。今日まで、感謝の言葉が遅れて、本当にすまなかった。俺はミオンを、いや、仲間を誰だろうと、二度と疑わない。二度とだ。絶対にだ。だから、ミオン、あの日の俺を、どうか許してくれ。
Mion must have had no idea what I was talking about. Of course, I didn't either. I didn't understand what I was talking about, but my sin wasn't forgiven yet. I needed to confess my sin in order to receive her
ミオンが
forgiveness.
命をかけてくれたことを、俺は知ってる。だから、いつかミオンに何かの不幸が訪れたら、俺は絶対に命をかけて助けるからな。絶対だ。約束する。
ケイちゃん？照れるな。
Mion's face was bright red. She didn't know what was going on. Satoko was blushing too, with a confused look on her face, but Rika-chan and I understood everything. We weren't going to accept the tragedy. We couldn't give up just because the world was going out of order. We were going to fight against fate to the very last moment. Mion fought for me. Rena fought for me. That's why I was going to fight for Rena. Just like she did for me, I was going to risk my life to save her. That was really fucking heavy. Oh, Jesus, that was heavy. And we're still not done. Oh. Give me, like, a minute, okay? I'll be right back in just a minute. See, nerd, that's where I was too. When I mentioned it on my podcast once or twice, but when I started this game, and I read right when I was reading the first part of the first poem for Onikakushi, I literally choked up because I knew what it meant already. And I was like, oh fuck. We've got like 100 hours to go and I'm already destroyed. And I can't tell people why I'm destroyed. Yeah, like keeping all this shit close to the vest. It's like, oh my god. But like, I remember specifically the line of like, this is my last bouquet for you. And it was like, oh! It punched me in the chest and it was like, oh good. We're 3 minutes into this and I'm dead. I'm dead! Alright. Last half of the final chapter for this evening. Let's go. The summit was being held at a traditional Japanese restaurant in Shishibone City. When a black car stopped in front of it, 3 burly cops got out of it, followed by Oishi. They were unwelcomed by the Sonozaki Corps members in equally black suits. It was something you didn't see every day.
今日はお招きいただきまして光栄です。遅刻しちゃって申し訳ないですね。
お客人、ご案内いたします。
What the fuck is going on now?
どうぞこちらへ。
There was a sign saying reserved at the entrance. Oishi and his subordinates were taken inside. They walked through the restaurant's pretentious landscaped garden, and they came to the gorgeous Japanese-style entrance. A woman in a kimono was waiting at the entrance. A woman in a kimono was waiting at the entrance. As was Kasai. Okay. As was Kasai. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, it's so much worse. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Kane Sonozaki makes another appearance. She's so pretty. Upon seeing the police officers, they stopped chatting and bowed deeply. The woman in the kimono was Mion's mother, Akane.
いやー、どうも園崎社長さん。
どうも。
本日はお招きをいただきありがとうございます。
ようこそいらっしゃいました。ご多忙中のはるばるのお越し、心より感謝いたします。
いえ、今日はごちそうになりますよ。ここの料亭は湯葉が有名ですからね。ねどんなごちそうか楽しみです。それから葛西さんもお久しぶり。直接会うのはだいぶ久しぶりになりますね。
ご無沙汰をいたしております。
まあなんかこの度はお互い戦争状態に突入しちゃってるようですが、白黒を穏便に大人のルールにこっちゃ全面戦争はいつでも大丈夫ですんで。
いえ、そのようなつもりは毛頭。
そりゃこちらもやりたかはないです。あんたが粘ると血の雨が降るって評判ですからね。私もいい年なんで、もう流血沙汰はごめんしたいところです。
Obviously, this was a meeting between people who hated each other. The tension in their words indicated that it wasn't likely to be a friendly meeting.
それではご案内いたします。どうぞこちらへ。
主催自らのご案内、痛み入りますよ。
そう。招待状の名前は私で出させていただきましたが、今日の主催は本家でございます。訳あって招待状の名前を変えさせていただいたことをお詫びいたします。
本家ですか。防弾チョッキを着に戻ってもいいですかね。ね。
On the other side of the door, there were several tables, and Mion was sitting at one of them. Since Mion was still young, her school uniform functioned as her formal dress. Still, it looked strange with both the police and the Corps members in black suits.
これはどうも、園崎家の次期当主のお嬢さん。今日はお招きくださり光栄です。
本日はようこそお越しくださいました。まずはおかけになってください。
Mion politely welcomed the police, undaunted even though they were older than her parents. Mion gave Kasai a look and he tapped on the door. The waitress, who had been waiting behind the door, started bringing out drinks.
おいさん、一体これは何のつもりすかね。
さてね。まあ、ここは舌鼓を打たせてもらいましょう。ここの湯葉は有名ですよ。
They started drinking, but the tension continued for a while. Mion made the waitresses and the other members of the Sonozaki Corps leave the room, and soon only Oishi and his subordinates, Mion, Akane, and Kasai, were left in the room.
さて、今日はどういうお話ですかな?
Akane nodded and began speaking.
本日は皆さんとの間に生じている誤解について説かせていただきたく。
ほう、誤解と申しますと?
発端はとてもさまつでございます。ここによってこの度の件は葛西辰義と龍宮玲奈個人間のこと。
The private circumstances between Tatsuyoshi Kasai and Renari.
園崎組は関与しておりません。
個人的事情って何ですかね。片木の龍宮さんと極道の葛西さんにどういう個人的な接点が生じるっていうんです。
Ryugu Rena is a good girl. What could she possibly have on her that would make you think that she would hang around with any type of Yakuza thug?
葛西。
はい。僭越ながらご説明させていただきます。
Kasai told the police officers when he happened to meet Rena at the coffee house in Okinomiya. He explained that Rena found something he lost there and that she offered to bring it back to him.
ちょいと無理がございませんかね。まあ100歩譲って落とし物の話を信じてもいいですよ。その後がちょいとおかしくないですかね。龍宮玲奈を探して組の若い連中が動員されてるって聞いてますよ。
それに関しましては、龍宮玲奈さんが遅くになっても帰宅されないのを家人が心配されていたので、繁華街で見かけていることがないかどうか若い者に聞かせたのですが、その際に手違いがありましたようで。
おうおうおう、ちょいと待ってくださいよ。こんな割烹まで呼び出してそのヨタ話を信じろっての？あんたうちらの商売をなめてんの？
Oishi looked a lot more like a member of the Yakuza than a real Yakuza did. Oishi threatened them with a nasty smile and piled all the more attention onto the atmosphere in the room.
おいさん、まあまあ。
Kumagaya tried to make him stand down. Officers with hot temperatures pair with others who are good at calming them down, just like how Yakuza do. Oishi backed off with a grin. Kumagaya took over, continuing from there.
それで、園崎家さんはどうおっしゃりたいわけですか？龍宮玲奈と葛西辰義の個人的問題だから民事に介入するなとおっしゃりたいわけで？そういうわけにはいきません。龍宮玲奈は警察で保護させていただきます。
Mion opened her mouth for the first time in a while.
警察は龍宮玲奈を保護なさる理由をお聞かせください。
そりゃ決まってるじゃないかよ。あんたらが狙ってるからだよ。
Oishi answered bluntly, but Mion remained nonchalant. That must have made him all the more annoyed.
どうして東方が龍宮玲奈を狙っているとお思いで？
そりゃあんたの胸に聞きゃいいだろう。ご自分のその胸に。
大石さん、本日は皆さんの誤解を解くための会合です。もちろん耳を貸されないのもまたご自由かとは存じますが、聞いた方がさぞかしよろしいかと思いますよ。
ほう。我々が何の誤解をしていると？
龍宮玲奈の持っている高野美代のスクラップ帳についてある重大な誤解をされております。
The officer's expressions grew stern all at once. All of a sudden, she had gotten straight to the point.
龍宮玲奈の保護は彼女が高野美代のスクラップ帳を持っているからなので。
Oishi and his subordinates glared back at her without saying a word, making it obvious that her guess was right.
葛西。
Akane gave him a look and he left the room. However, he shortly returned, carrying a black suitcase. Every one of the officers assumed that there was a tremendous amount of money in the suitcase and that the Sonozaki family was trying to buy them off. Kasai opened the suitcase and showed the contents to the police.
これは
Oh.
高野美代のスクラップ帳です。残念ながら竜宮レナに手渡したと思われるものは含まれておりません。これを本日の魚に致そうかと思います。
中身を拝見させていただいても構いませんが。
ええ、どうぞ。お話はそれを読んでいただいた後で構いません。必要でしたら人払いもさせましょう。
いえ、それには及びません。
The cops produced latex gloves from their pockets, put them on, and took one of the scrapbooks out of the suitcase. There were more than 10 of them in there.
それらは高野美代の死亡の際に沖宮の自宅から発見したものです。
Oishi and others desperately turned the pages of the well-thumbed scrapbooks.
これ、間違いなく高野美代のなんでしょうね。
間違いありません。
おいさん、もしこれらに類するものを竜宮レナが持っているとするなら、
おそらくは竜宮レナが持つスクラップ帳もそれらに類する内容でしょう。
Oishi looked stunned by the contents of the scrapbooks. He started turning the pages faster and closed the scrapbook roughly.
ここにあるスクラップ帳、全部がこんな中身なんですか？
ええ、そうですよ。納得ゆくまでご覧ください。
The other officers also rapidly turned through the pages. They weren't reading them, just flipping through. They took one scrapbook from the suitcase after the other, flipped through the pages
おい
thoroughly.
さん、こんなのめちゃくちゃです。たちの悪いオカルト小説ですよ。冥界と現世が激突して霊魂が流入した？これを証拠として採用しろって言うんすか？
ああ、そっちは冥界の仕業なんだ。俺のは地底人の仕業って書いてあるよ。
This one is about classified weapons of the Nazis. This one's about the legacy of the Mu continent. This one is about Asi, the mysterious creature in Onigafuchi Swamp.
おそらく竜宮レナが持つスクラップ帳には皆さんもよくご存知の寄生虫説が記されているのだろうと察します。
The police were dumbfounded. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. The other officers were shooting glances at Oishi. They hadn't said anything to him, but they never really believed in the story of the parasite, let alone the bioterrorism. But Oishi had believed it and told them that he had proof. None of the scrapbooks in front of them said anything about parasites, but it was easy to assume the contents of one scrapbook were no different in nature from another. In other words, all of them were just crappy occult novels. I think our boy Oishi is a little mad. I think we gotta hear that again. The Oishi engine. All right, guys, I'm gonna keep this noise playing, and I want you to imagine something. Ready? Oishi is on top of you and he climaxes. Look, you know how mature we are around this place. Okay, look.
We have mature humor around here, I'll have you know. Oishi appeared to be able to accept the fact it was facing him. Oh god. But now that he was actually looking at it, it was too difficult to ignore. Miyo Takano was an occult geek who had laughable ideas about the legend of Onigafuchi, but Rena took them seriously, and so had Oishi. The other officers could no longer stop themselves from laughing at the ridiculous scrapbooks. Oishi glared at them and they stopped laughing. The main reason Oishi took the story of the parasite seriously was because the Sonozaki family was apparently after Rena Ryugu for the scrapbooks she had. Plus, Takano was the owner of the scrapbooks, was killed. Because of these two reasons, he believed in the Occult B novel. Oishi was frustrated without a doubt. He has to accept that he was wrong. Oishi was eager for any information that could help him solve the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa before he retired. A combination of a number of factors made Takano's ridiculous theory become highly creditable to him.
いくつかお聞きしたい。
They're milling about, Sayara. Can you not see them?
高野美代はどうして？
高野美代についても富武二郎についても当家では一切
そりゃそういう自分のことを嘘つきという嘘つきがこの世にいるわけはない。
あらあら大石さん、当家で始末したなら死体が出るとお思いで。
Jetstorm is on Team Takano's not dead. Mion wore a cold smile. She said too much. Akane cleared her throat as if to condemn the statement, and that made Mion shut her mouth. Oishi glared at the young successor, but he knew she was right.
じゃあ、リュウグレナをなんで追ってるんだよ。
初めから追っていないと申し上げております。確かにそう見えてしまう誤解が生じたことはこちらのミスです。その点につきましては私よりお詫びさせていただきます。
The reasons which made Oishi take Rena's delusions seriously collapsed one by one. Mion and Akane looked at each other. They must have decided to let Akane speak. She did so firmly.
当家からのお願いを申し上げさせていただきます。当家ではこのような世まいごとの内容に踊らされて警察と事を交えるのは望むところではありません。伝え聞くところでは県警防隊本部の三海氏が公安部と調整をされていると聞いております。何かのさまつな口実をきっかけに当家に関連するすべてに対し一斉捜査を入れられるおつもりとか。
That had been Oishi's request. Oishi took Rena's story seriously, and he wanted to find the research facility that was developing the parasite. He was intending to use it as proof of the potential bioterrorist attack. But as he had no idea where to start looking, he tried to conduct simultaneous raids on all the facilities the Sonozaki family owned in the entire prefecture in cooperation with the task force for gang groups and public safety. Normally, the circumstantial evidence he had wouldn't be enough to get their cooperation. In fact, public safety doubted Oishi's source because they hadn't heard of any potential terrorist attacks. They trusted their information network. But Oishi took advantage of his long career and his old friends, and he managed to get them to cooperate. Oishi's face broke out into a nervous sweat. Needless to say, he realized he was completely wrong.
当家もダム戦争の当時はいろいろとご迷惑をおかけいたしましたが、すでに昭和も60年代を前にし、時代の移り変わりを感じております。そんな中、当家もまた弱きを助け、強きをくじく任侠団体でありながらも、時代に即した平和的な路線を模索しているところです。
We're the good Yakuza.
そんな中、警察の一斉捜査を頂戴しては、手前どもの面目が丸つぶれでございます。
I think I hear Orio's voice in Akane's voice actress. I could be wrong, but they sound similar.
あんたんとこの面目なんて知ったことじゃないよ。叩きゃ誇りが出るんだ。 一斉捜査は決行しますよ。
Oh, Oishi, you gotta know your beat, dude.
誇りが出れば結構ではございますが、出なかった場合、いくら大石さんといえど、決して軽んじれない責任問題に発展するかと存じますが。
上等だよ。牛と全面戦争するか。
Oh, man. Oh, man.
それをお望みでしたら、
Oh, jeez.
それもまたよろしいか
She's just
と。
gonna play it as nice and kind as possible.
どうかお気が済むようお仕事をなされてくださいませ。当家はいつでも受けて立ちますので。
Akane Sonozaki didn't betray Oishi's expectations. Although her right to become the successor was taken away, Akane had been through a lot more than Neon. Oishi couldn't back out now, because he was in a fight he probably couldn't win. Kumagai butted in and tried to calm him down.
一斉捜査を控えることに対する見返りは？
Neon answered this time.
双方の友好の証として、そのスクラップ帳を
We'll give
皆
you
さんに
these
献上いた
crappy
します。
occult novels. Enjoy!
そのスクラップ帳があれば、まだ高野美代を出しに矛先を引っ込めることもできましょう。
These scrapbooks proved how ridiculous Mio Takano's theory was. Takano was dead anyway. Oishi could show people these scrapbooks and say he was fooled. He could still pretend the whole raid thing never happened. He might have to take responsibility for it, but if he didn't back off now, there'd be no doubt that he'd face a hopeless mess. If he was going to back off, it was now or never. The administrative staff at his station weren't exactly fond of him. If he made such a huge mistake right before his retirement, people who had been looking for a chance for revenge would cut his pension with glee. His pension was decided by multiplying his base salary by a certain number. If they cut his base salary, then there was no way he could avoid a big reduction.
おいさん。
He decided to back off. It was hard for him to admit mistakes at his age. He grimaced with anger.
あとはクマちゃんに任すわ。ちょっと飲みすぎちゃったみたいです。私はちょいと縁側で夜風に当たってきます。失礼。
Oishi stood up quickly and left the room, making a lot of noise as he walked. Kasai closed the door Oishi left open. The room was filled with silence again. At that point, Kumagai opened his mouth.
園崎家さんの言い分は了解いたしました。警察としても一斉捜査が及ぼす各業界への影響は本意ではなく、よって市内の平穏を維持するため、今後とも警察と園崎家で連携していくことを確認したいと思います。よってこの度の一斉捜査は見送らせていただきます。
ありがとうございます。園崎家当主お領に代わりまして深く御礼申し上げます。
約束に従い、このスクラップ帳は警察でお預かりします。それから条件が2つ。
賜ります。
1点目はこの場にないスクラップ帳を園崎家が入手した場合、速やかに警察に提出すること。2点目は竜宮レナの身柄を確保した場合、速やかにその身柄を警察に引き渡すこと。
2点目は認められません。竜宮レナは妄想に取りつかれた一少女に過ぎません。当家で速やかに身柄を確保した上で、しかるべき治療を受けられる医療機関を手配します。これは当人の権利でもあります。
その点につきましては当方も主張を引けません。当方には高野殺しを含めて竜宮レナに尋問する権利があります。重要参考人としてです。容疑者としてではありません。
Akane whispered to Mion. Mion in turn nodded and began to speak.
わかりました。2点目の条件を了承します。ただし当方からも条件を追加します。竜宮レナの権利保全のため当家から弁護士を派遣します。 竜宮レナへの尋問はすべて弁護士立ち会いのもとで行うこと。
As expected. Very thorough. I expected that.
了解しました。ただし園崎家からの弁護士が意図的に派遣されないことによる妨害は認めません。警察は竜宮レナの身柄を確保した後、直ちに尋問を開始します。
当家も問題ありません。ただし竜宮レナの身柄確保時には直ちに当家へ連絡をすること。
可能な限り早く連絡するようにいたします。
Akane cut in.
尋問をあらかた終えてから電話されても困ります。身柄を確保した時点でご連絡をお願いします。ここいらは互いを信頼した上での善意の取り決めでございます。どうか夢保護にされることがないようよろしくお願い申し上げます。
You can't put Satoko on Keiichi's shoulder in a trench coat anymore.
わかりました。双方による善意の取り決めです。遵守に誠心誠意努力いたします。
Akane and Kumagai glared at each other for a moment. Surprisingly, Kumagai was very calm. He was always in the shadow of Oishi, who was loud and noisy, but he had as much guts as his superior did. Oishi was good at taking care of matters in a rough and threatening kind of way, but Kumagai was good at negotiations like this. The meeting ended and the police stood up from their seats. The tension in the room had finally ceased. Kasai put the scrapbooks back in the suitcase and handed it to Kumagai. Kumagai looked at Kasai, nodded lightly, and took what was offered to him.
イタリー製の最高級カバンです。今日のお土産に含まれますので、どうかお持ちになってくださいませ。
いえ、お約束ではスクラップ帳のみをお預かりすることになっております。カバンは後日園崎組事務所へお返しに伺わせていただきます。それでは失礼します。園崎家当主お涼さんにもどうかよろしくお伝えください。
The officers left after bowing to Mion. After making sure the police had left the hallway, Mion sighed heavily and finally let go of her tension. She spread her feet on the floor, flapping the rim of her skirt.
いやー、肩が凝っちゃったよ。お母さんがやってくれればよかったのに。
バカだね。あんたの方が肩書きが上なんだよ。こういうのは年じゃなくて肩書きなの。
Objection, that's not my Nini.
葛西、中井に行ってビールでも持ってこさせて。あと外の若いのも呼び入れて何か冷たいのを振る舞ってやりな。
ビールだけでよろしいですか？
ああ、この子はダメ。オレンジジュースでも頼みな。
No beer for Mion!
子供扱いして。肩書きが上でも全然大人扱いしてもらってないよ。
いくつになってもでっかい子供だよ、あんたは。
That's me to after 5.
それはそうと、今回の一件、お父さんがだいぶ手回ししてくれてるんだよ。よーく感謝しときな。葛西もね。あんたも片木と会うときはもうちょい気を利かせな。
Well, I mean, she has Greenheart's green hair, and she does have a larger chest than the rest of the main cast, so... I mean, after 5, I mean, let's be real here. I mean, come on. Let's be real here.
みっともない限りです。
しかしさ、あの大石をコケにするとはレナちゃんもやるじゃない。あんたの友達はつくづく大物が多いね。今度ぜひ母さんにも紹介してよ。お芝居でも一緒に見に行きたいね。葛西、今度レナちゃんに会ったらぜひそう伝えておいてよ。
Yo, she's gonna get in hanging out with cool mafia mom.
その時また物騒な話を吹き込むんじゃないよ。
もちろん分かってます、姉さん。
With that, they successfully dispelled the magical power of Takano's scrapbooks. The whole mess shouldn't grow any larger. The only remaining problem was Rena. Where could she be hiding? Would Rena prefer to see no theater? Whew. We're not done! What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No. That was chapter 11. I don't know if this is chapter 12. Let me check something. Hold on. I can be absolutely sure about this. Hold on. Give me just 1 second. Okay, let's see. That's 20. Okay, there's that. Okay, this might actually be pretty short, I think. Hold on. What? Okay, so we just did that one. Oh boy. I don't know where we're at, because these scripts are not in order. Okay. Before I went to bed. Okay. No, just give me a moment. I'll get us there. I'll get us there, I promise. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think... Oh god, no, we're not. I'm gonna continue here. We're gonna see what happens. Like, this is weird. This is weird. I don't think that that's actually the end of the chapter. But the scripts are actually a little wonky for this one. They're not in the same order for some reason. Before I went to bed, I headed to my window to close the curtain. I saw the shadow of a person near the porch. Who could it be so late? Well, I didn't have to guess who it was. There was only one person I knew who had come see me so late. I opened the window and looked more carefully this time. I was right. It was Rena! She was just standing still under the light. I wondered how long she'd been there for. It didn't look like she was going to ring the doorbell. She was just standing there. It seemed like she was asking herself whether to ring the doorbell or not. For how long had she been hesitating? Okay, I know where we're at in the script now, so I can look and see something. Okay. Alright. There's still a little bit to go. I'd say we've probably got another 20 minutes or so, at least. Just kind of looking at the script here, so... Alright, but we've got a surprise Rena visit, so it's all good. It looked like even standing was giving her a hard time. She looked very tired. I ran down the stairs, put my sandals on, and rushed out of the house. Rena looked surprised to see me, even though I came out making a lot of noise.
Rena!
She looked relieved to see me for a moment, but then she glanced downward and looked sad again.
いつからここに突っ立ってたんだよ。
わかんない。夕方、 ちょっと過ぎくらいからだったと思う。
Rena must have been staying somewhere outside for the last 2 days at the very least, and it wasn't like she'd been camping for fun. She'd been in a state of high tension this whole time, believing that someone was trying to kill her. Rena looked utterly exhausted. She seemed to have taken care of the deep scratch it made on her neck the other day with some large band-aids. The band-aids had cute pictures, but only made the wound on her neck look more painful. I saw some band-aids soaked through with blood on her arms and body too, and I could tell she made them herself. She had more scars than she had last night.
中に入ろう。この2日間、ろくなものを食べてないんだろ。
When I tried to take her to the house, she refused with a vague expression on her face. It wasn't that she didn't want to go into the house, it was more like she had to refuse because she thought she didn't deserve it.
もうね、ダメなの。今のこの瞬間も、私の全身の中で変なのがざわざわ騒いで、かゆくて、かゆくて、溢れ出しそうなの。
なあ、レナ。多分それは何かの病気なんだ。とりあえず今夜は俺の家で休んで、明日の朝一番で監督の診療所へ行ってみないか。監督ならレナの微妙な立場を分かってくれるから、誰にも内緒で診察してくれるよ。
もうダメ。自分でも分かるんだよ。富武さんがどういう最後を遂げたか、今ははっきりと分かるの。私は必死にそれを我慢しているだけ。
Rena believed she was given some sort of suspicious drug that made her claw at her neck to death, just like Tomitaki-san did. She had convinced herself that it was going to happen. She wouldn't hear anything else right now, but she really wanted somebody to help her. She wanted help, but when someone tried to give her a hand, it looked like the hand of the devil. If this was some kind of disease, what a horribly depressing disease it was.
どういう最後になるかわからないけど、多分もうそんなに長くないと思うの。
そんなことねえさ。無敵の部活メンバーリュウグウレナがそんな程度でくたばるかよ。
ありがとう。それでね、死んじゃう前に圭一君にどうしても謝りたかったの。
謝る？何をだよ。
私昨日すごくいけないことを言って圭一君を傷つけた。
She must be talking about last night. She trusted me, but when Oishi-san told her about my past, she felt betrayed. And after that, everything I did out of goodwill seemed like the opposite to her. I know what it's like. I once felt the same way about you, Rena.
私もね、昔引っ越してくる前、
Yeah. It hurts.
とても悪いことをしていた。いっぱい。
そうか。そうなんだ。
圭一君みたいにおもちゃの鉄砲で撃つのなんかと比べ物にならないよ。金属バットで頭が割れちゃうくらいに殴った。みんな大怪我だった。他にもね、学校のガラスとかいっぱい割って歩いたり、それからね。
I know. But I don't care about any of that. You did that before you moved here. That's why you stopped being Rena Ryugu and become Rena Ryugu right here, right? To me, you're my best friend who's very kind, thoughtful, and fun. That's the most important thing. I don't care who you were before.
ね。私ももっともっといっぱい悪い。圭一君のこと仲間じゃないなんていう資格。
それは俺もなんだ。俺も最初レナの過去のことを聞いて恐れた。
そっか。知ってたんだ。
Rena laughed sadly. She seemed shocked to find out that I knew about her history when she thought I didn't.
でもだからなんだよって思ったぜ。引っ越してくる前にレナがどんな大悪党だとしたって、それでレナはいろいろと泣いたり笑ったりしながら 人生を積み重ねてきて、それでひなみ沢に引っ越してきて、誰にも恥じなくていい生活をしてるじゃねえかよ。前の町で悪いことがあったとしたって、レナはそれを悔いているならどうでもいいことだったんだよ。その結果、竜宮レナってやつが尊敬できる人間に成長できたならどうでもいいことだったんだよ。
I should have noticed it earlier. Rena is Rena. That's why she's Rena Ryugu. I couldn't understand the simple thing when she said she wasn't Reina.
レナも聞いたろ。俺も悪いやつだった。バカだったんだ。なんてバカなことをしたんだと後悔した。だから、引っ越しは人生をもう一度やり直すいい機会だと思ったんだ。だから俺は、ひなみ沢では自分で自分が好きになれる前原圭一だったと思ってる。それは、レナもなんだろ？茨城でどういう生活だったかなんて関係ない。ひなみ沢にいる竜宮レナが大事なんだ。だから、竜宮レイナが何者だろうと、俺には全然関係ないことだったんだ。
そうだよね。
新しい自分をやり直せる機会は何回あったっていいんだ。そんな機会があるから、俺たちは何回も失敗しながら、傷つきながら、もっと大好きになれる自分を探してさまよえるんじゃないかよ。人生に一度や二度のつまずきなんてつきものなんだ。だからそんなのにへこたれないで、俺たちはどんどん成長していかなくちゃいけないんだ。だから、そんなたくましい人の膝に残るかさぶたを見ておぞましく思うなんて最低のことだったんだよ。
It doesn't matter how many times you fall. When you go through a lot of pain, you can be kinder to others. So I don't need to know your past, and even if I knew, it shouldn't have changed the way I treated you. But we were fools. We couldn't understand that until we went through things like this ourselves. Mion knew that from the beginning. We were such fools. We hurt each other, and we made each other cry.
竜宮レナはこれまでも今も、そしてこれからも、レナが辛い時、きっと俺が助けるから、俺を信じてくれ。
ありがとう。圭一君を信じるよ。
It's very tragic, but what she said isn't true. She probably didn't mean to lie, but I knew she didn't trust me from the bottom of her heart. My words didn't reach her. I knew that because Rena kept telling me to trust her that time. She kept saying those words, while I kept hitting her with the bat. But they still didn't reach me.
私ね、もう多分長くない命だと思うけど、こんな素敵な圭一君がいるひなみ沢を救うために頑張るよ。
No, Rena.
奴らなんかにこの村を乗っ取らせない。みんなで楽しく過ごしていた日々を取り戻すために私は戦うよ。奴らの陰謀を必ずやっつけてみせるから。
She said that she trusted me, but she didn't understand anything I was saying. Even after I kept telling her that the conspiracy was Takano-san's delusions, it wouldn't reach her.
ありがとう、圭一君。レナを許してくれて。
I do. I forgive you. So please, forgive me for what I did to you.
きっとひなみ沢を救う。だから圭一君、力を貸して。圭一君だけは信じられる。圭一君となら救えると思ってる。
Yo, we're gonna save Hinamizawa together! That's a good idea!
レナ
I knew how bad of a corner Rena was driven into. If I was her, I'd be walking around with a baseball bat, thinking every single person around me was the enemy. Rena cared about me so much, but I saw her as my worst enemy. But Rena, you still trust me, even when you're driven into this bad of a corner. I couldn't understand what you were saying. I beat you to death while you kept telling me to trust you. But you're different. You still trust me? You are so...
どうして泣いてるの？
許してくれ。許してくれ。俺は もう絶対にレナを裏切らないから。レナのことを信じるから。だから、許してくれ。
何のことを言ってるのかよくわかんない。ケイチ君はいつもレナのことを信じてくれてるよ。
That's true.
だからレナもケイチ君のことを信じてる。信じていいんだよね。ケイチ君だけはレナを信じてくれるんだよね。
Tears fell from my eyes. I sobbed and nodded again and again to answer her. Tears welled up in Rena's eyes too. Before I knew it, we were putting our foreheads together with tears in our eyes.
私ね、この戦いを終わらせる方法を見つけたの。
本当か？
うん。勝ち目のほとんどない方法だけど、私にできる一番の抵抗だと思う。
レナ、それがどんな方法かは知らないけど、それが終わった後、俺たちはみんなでまた楽しかった元の日々に戻れるんだよな。戻れるんだよな。そうじゃなくちゃ嫌だ。俺はお前をこの場から行かせない。
大丈夫だよ、ケイチ君。元の幸せな日々に戻るための起死回生、逆転の最後の一手なんだから。
I don't know what she had on her mind. It began with a delusion, and it'd end with a delusion. If I encouraged her too much, she'd twist it into an attack on her. I was like that at the time. I took Rena's goodwill as the complete opposite thing, so I stopped denying her story. This was Rena's battle. It was her lonely battle. She had to fight against her own delusion. The more we tried to help her, the more we drove her into a corner. But I would always be there for her. Whenever she needed help, she could reach me. I wanted to let her know that. So I said just one thing.
俺は最後の瞬間までレナの味方だからな。絶対にレナの味方だからな。
Even if I told her to trust me, I knew she couldn't right now. I knew that. But I told her those words anyway. Even if she couldn't believe them, and if she tried to smash my head in, I'd say those words. I'd keep saying them until I die.
ありがとう、ケイチ君。明日でね。きっと全部終わるの。きっと私たちは勝つよ。そしたら、またみんなで楽しく部活をしよう。
Where's Xian's taser when you need it?
みんなで。私たちが一番楽しかった時を取り戻そう。
Although she wished to regain our happy times so badly, I couldn't get rid of the darkness that controlled her mind.
じゃあ、私はこれで行くね。明日の準備があるから。
To tell the truth, I didn't want to let her go. I wanted to stop her, even if I had to grab her arm. But I couldn't stop her like that. If I grabbed her arm, she wouldn't trust me anymore.
待てよ、レナ。明日の準備って。
内緒。ケイチ君に協力してもらうこともあるかもしれないけど、その時はレナを助けてね。
We're gonna help Rena, right?
ああ、当然だぜ。
I nodded strongly so she could tell that I was still on her side. But I didn't know what her come-from-behind victory meant at this point. The first thing I think of is that she was going to invade the house of the Sonozaki family, which she thought was her enemy. So I called Mion to warn her after Rena left. Mion laughed bitterly and said, "Why does everybody want us to be the bad guys so much?" But she understood the situation.
いっそ悪役に徹しさせてもらってもいいよ。レナが妙なことをしでかす前に踏んじばって病院に担ぎ込むのもいいかもしれない。
本当に最後の最後まで行ったらそれも仕方ないかもな。でもレナを信じたいんだ。最後のギリギリまで。あいつは こんなに心が追い詰められても、俺をまだ信じるだけの心の強さがあるんだ。俺とは違う。だから、きっとレナは妄想に打ち勝てるはずなんだ。
最近ケイちゃんとリカちゃんが何を言ってるのか、おじさんちょっと分かりかねるんだよな。なんか最近ヘビーなことでもあったわけ？
Rena is the imposter. Of course. You can say it happened lately in a way. I killed Mion a couple of days after the festival.
悪いな。意味のわかんない話ばっかりしちゃって。それよりレナのこと、見損なったりしないでくれ。な。
そんなわけないよ。誰だってたまには心が風邪をひく時があるって。レナのこれもその程度のこと。まあちょいと熱は高いみたいだけど、すっきりケロッと治ってすぐに笑い話になっちゃうって。ケイちゃんが思ってるほど事態は悪くなってないよ。大石の大バカ野郎は自分の誤解を認めた。例の件は発生自体にも気づいてない。だからこのままレナの空騒ぎでしたってことで決着できる。
そうなのか？空騒ぎで決着できそうなのか？
そういうことで決着させんのがその先本家次期当主のミオン様の手腕じゃないの。某料亭でね、大石とおじさんが1対1で対談してちゃんと誤解を解いてきたわけよ。大石はタジタジ。いやー、おじさんもなかなかやるね。
Mion bragged about her achievement, laughing loudly. I could tell she was exaggerating a little. Anyway, compared to the sense of impending doom Rena seemed to be feeling, others seemed to be taking it rather easy. It was all up to Rena now. If she understood everything, she could go back to the peaceful world she wished for. We were waiting for her to reach out to us, just like we did at the abandoned car at the garbage dump that day. Rena, I couldn't win, but I know you can, because you're the one who told me to have faith until the end. So I know you can win. That didn't mean that she could. That mean that she could literally win the last battle she was talking about earlier. But Rena would win. She'd win, and she'd regain her peaceful life. A lot of powerful shit tonight. Jesus Christ. Whew. Last night. Oh boy. We got a tip. Oh boy. You have confidence. No confidence.
もう明日なのです。
ん？ああ。私たちの命日？
今回も同じ顛末なのです。
そうかしら。よく似てるけど、いろいろと違うところもあったわ。圭一、前のことを覚えてたし。
そんなことはありえないのです。覚えているわけ、いや、知っているわけはないのです。
あんたが絶対にありえないと言ってくれればくれるほど。じゃあこれは本当に奇跡なんだって思えるわね。
どうせ、今回もおしまいです。
おしまいかし
ら。もうすぐ終わる。全部終わる。そう。日暮らしの泣く頃に。
Was it all going to end anyway? The more often you throw a die, the closer to the total you get to the average. When you throw a die 100 times, even if a miracle happens and you get a 6 twice or 3 times in a row, the total will average out in the end. That's a fact of statistics. But when you throw a die 100 times, the total number ranges from 100 to 600. The more you throw, the greater the likelihood that the number will converge on the average. But the truth is, the more you throw, the more possible outcomes you create. There are 500 different futures you can create by throwing a die 100 times. There are 5,000 different futures you can create by throwing a die 1,000 times.
There might be one future among them that enables you to actually finish this never-ending game of dice. Keiichi showed me a miracle, and it taught me that it's not a waste of effort to keep throwing the die. Don't give in to something like an average.
イラつく背中を見せるわね。どうせ今回もダメだろうって、そういう哀愁でいっぱいよ。私だって、どうせダメだろうと思ってる。でもね、最後のサイコロを投げるまで、私は諦めない。圭一が教えてくれた。今回は何かが違うの。だから、それを信じてみる。
リカは、本当に強いのです。
まあね。あんたよりはずっと若いし。
リカ？みー、こんな時間に起きてて、夜更かしはダメでございましてよ。ごめんなさいなのです。寝苦しかったので、星を見ていただけなのですよ。もう寝ますです。そうなさいませ。おやすみ、リカ。おやすみなのです、さとこ。
And there you go! That's definitely doing it for us tonight. Thanks everybody, of course, for coming out. We might be wrapping this tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see. We might be tomorrow. Man, you're gonna make me do this, aren't you? Oh, good lord, that's a good one. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, there's not a lot left. Yeah, I kind of figured we're cruising into the finale. I think we're getting close to the end. We'll probably wrap it next stream. Give you a moment here. Close the stream out with... we will close the stream out with another piece of artwork by Sayara. Here, and... Oh, boop. Boop. This is a piece called Sinfulness. Just gotta look a little bit and see what's going on. But thanks again, everybody, for coming out. It has been an absolute blast. I'm glad we decided to do 2 chapters tonight because these chapters were a lot. There's just so much here. So yeah. The next time we stream, we will likely be wrapping this up.